Welcome back from the break, everybody, to Games Done Quick Hotfix. You're now watching Game Masters, and I am your host, Kiara_TV. And today we're back with more Super Metroid action. This time, a multi-category tournament race. We're gonna have a best of 3 between Andy and Zeb316 right here, and this is gonna be an official restream of the events. So whoever wins today, this is gonna affect their performance in this ongoing tournament that's been going on the last couple weeks and will continue on for a couple more weeks. Before we get into it, I wanted to let you all know that Games Done Quick is hiring. So if you love creative work and have experience in planning and organizing, apply to be a prize assistant at our mainline events. Visit gamesdonequick.com/jobs by May 11th to apply. Also, Summer Games Done Quick 2025 will be live in Minneapolis from July 6th through the 13th. Register to attend the event by May 26th. Use !SGDQ in Twitch chat or visit gamesdonequick.com for more info. And joining me once more in the commentary booth here is going to be Eddie, who you may have all gotten to know a couple shows ago. But Eddie, this is your tournament. This is the Super Metroid multi-category tournament. And before we get into the race and go through all of that, I want you to give us like a quick rundown of what this tournament is, how it functions. So that way everybody can get a general idea before we hop in.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, hi, my name is Eddie. Thank you, Kara, for inviting me on here. And this is the Super Metroid Map Rando multi-category tournament. This is a double elimination bracket. We're in the gold division right now. And essentially it's, let me see, there was 47 participants coming in here, straight seeded by the season 2 results. And this is round 4 of the upper bracket between our players, Zeb316 and Andy. So very deep into the winner's bracket. And so this is the winner of this will end up playing Oats and Goats, which you may have all heard of before, but it's a pretty important match. It's a pretty important match. This at this section, this is actually, this is round 3. Every person at this stage of the game is extremely strong and has the capability of winning the entire tournament. And this is one of the round 3 matches that's really high profile. You know, Andy versus Zeb, both extremely good and seasoned rando players. So yeah, that's basically it. It's a multi-category tournament, so there's 5 different modes, and players have the pick and ban option. So we'll probably go into more detail on that in a bit.
Yeah, let's go ahead and introduce our runners here. We got Andy, the one and only. Welcome back to GDQ, Andy. Hello.
Hello. I thought I signed up for a Zelda tournament. Am I in the wrong place?
Okay, well, you know, I think you're pretty good at Super Metroid. I don't know, maybe Link to the Past skills just naturally carry over to Super Metroid because they're basically the same game, right? Otherwise, why would they link them together all the time and all these different randomized?
Not the other way around, though. Have you seen Eddie play that game? Shh.
I mean, I saw Eddie can hover in A Link to the Past. That's pretty impressive. Yeah.
That's the one dig I get at Eddie before I get muted and deafened for the rest of the show. So.
Anyway, and Andy's opponent here, Zeb316. Hello, how are you doing, Zeb? Welcome.
I'm doing good. I'm ready to kick Andy's butt and win pretty easily, but...
Whoa, holy crap.
That's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the way this pick ban system works, I'm not sure we can see the categories on screen here. There are 5 categories here, and we can explain the category once it is selected here. But Zeb, as the higher seed, you get to pick who has the first veto, and the opposite of that is going to be who picks game 1. So Zeb can pick whether he wants the first veto or the first game pick. So Zeb, I'll leave it over to you. What category are we going to get rid of here?
Okay, so I'm actually going to let Andy pick. I'm feeling pretty generous, so I'm going to choose to be player 2 and let Andy pick first.
Okay.
For the veto.
All right. I am going to veto gravity suits.
Oh, gravity plus tanks.
Gravity plus 90 tanks and a reserve.
Mm-hmm. And I am going to veto Metroid Objectives No Mother Brain 2.
Oh, I love that category. Oh boy, okay.
Yeah, I think you're in the extreme minority in that regard, Kiara.
Hey, that's why I'm the 45th seed in this tournament, right?
Yeah, let's see. We did 2 Metroids races yesterday, and Eddie beat me by 15 minutes in the first one, and then I beat Eddie by 15 minutes in the second one. So, it's a little bit of a high variance.
All right, so Zeb, you get the first choice. What type of race are we going to have for game number 1 here? We have no objectives. We have double suits, and we have Varia plus movement. You get the Varia suit, high jump, spring ball, ice beam, and grapple beam right at the start of the game.
I'm thinking about picking the Varia suit mode.
I love this.
I think that one's probably the most skill intensive, so the easiest victory for me. And I think that it's a good mode to choose first.
Yeah, so Andy, how do you think this race is going to go?
Obviously, Zeb is a very good Metroid runner, So when I was thinking of what I was going to ban, it was either the gravity or the Varia categories. There was basically no other good option to ban. Managing heat damage with gravity and no Varia is probably, I feel like going through water rooms without gravity, I can mitigate some of that time loss a little better than I can the health loss going through a ton of heated rooms constantly. So we should be okay.
All right.
There's no pressure on me. I 4th place Link to the Past tournament finisher against a multi-time Super Metroid tournament champion. I got nothing to lose and all to gain right here.
All right. Well, you did have a strong performance at AGDQ, almost beating Eddie. Well, if only it wasn't for some unfortunate occurrence that we won't talk about, but surely that's not going to happen again here. You're due. You're due for a victory here. Zeb's you're gonna have to win it. Anyway, Eddie is generating the seed here. Everybody, good job. I see it posted in here. So once you two have the seed loaded and ready to go, we can get game 1 on the way. So Eddie, what do you think of this category? You made this tournament. What was going through your head here with all these items specifically?
Yeah, so I knew I wanted at least 5 different categories so that the pick ban phase kind of made sense. If you have too little, then, obviously if you're playing a best of 3, you're banning 2 categories, each person gets 1, then you don't have enough for 3 games unless you pay that one for 3 times. So the idea sort of behind the Varia, high jump, spring, grapple, ice is essentially those are all useful for water movement without the gravity. So the gravity start and the Varia starts, you can think of them as double suit, but it's sort of like a pseudo double suit. So the mode that Zeb is essentially, yeah. So basically, the idea behind this one is you're starting with Varia, and you have to think about whether or not you really want to go for those majors, because how useful is gravity really when you can navigate all the water movement properly, as long as you have the ability to do so. With some higher level tech, you could even go through rooms that you normally can't. And with the Gravity 9+1, which was banned, it's essentially the same thing. It's a pseudo Varia suit. You have so many tanks, but there are situations where you go through a lot of heat, and you may still end up, taking a death if you go through too much heat, or you have to get to a situation where you fight Ridley. That's the kind of situation where the tanks are good, but you still need the DPS. But the other 2 modes, no objectives, which is the final one that we'll see, if it goes to a game 3, that is essentially the same as just a normal rando. However, in order to get to Mother Brain, you do have to kill the 4 bosses, Kraid, Ridley, Fantoon, and Dragon. No objectives means Mother Brain is open. If you find Mother Brain, the only thing you have to do is defeat Mother Brain, but defeating Mother Brain does require a certain amount of resources that's not trivial to get. So it still can be difficult, but it's a stressful mode where when you find that Mother Brain, you're scrambling to find your solution.
Very good. I'd like to remind everybody, we have a prediction going on of who's going to win the best of 3 here. Godas, if you want to put some points on the line here, put your life savings in all on Zeb. I think it's a safe choice. But we'll see how it actually goes. But I see we're both in the game now. Zeb, Andy, are both of you ready to race here?
I was born ready.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Andy,
let's
you good
do
to
it.
go? All right.
Yeah,
okay, we're going to
it.
go ahead and deafen our runners so they cannot hear us. And, I guess go ahead, guys, and start the countdown whenever. So both of them will have to ready up. We are in a race room for this. It's going to be official. So I see Andy is ready, confirming the seeds. Always want to check and make sure that you are playing the same seeds. I do love in Map Rando how it's kind of like actual words for the hash, so it's easier to communicate. Anyway, who do you think has the advantage here in this mode? We're starting in 10 seconds here.
Yeah, I'll have to give it to Zeb. Zeb is the higher seed. I believe it's 5th seed to the 12th seed Andy, right? But, we've seen Andy almost took the GDQ win on this big stage, and Andy has tremendous amounts of rando experience. Also has played a lot of Metroid speedrun it before, and has played SMZ3 a lot, right? So no slouch, but Zeb is purely a Super Metroid rando main. People may not have heard of his name before, but he is a legend in the Super Metroid rando community. He plays seeds for fun like every night. That's what he used to always do. So
I do like how we immediately start with the 50-50 in the starting room, but Zeb makes the right choice, finding Morph Ball there, and he's skipping it and heading down through the aqueducts. This isn't looking good, Eddie.
Yeah, well, I wonder if we should close those predictions, because hopefully Eddie doesn't get lost for too long without that Morph Ball. That's not very good for him to start off like that. So yeah, Zeb starting with that Morph Ball, immediately going to the right, making use of that grapple beam. So this is the ideal situation. Okay, I think this is going to be fine, unless this is the Fantoon map, because the map will quickly show us that there's a major over there. It's the Fantoon map. Oh no.
Oh no!
This is already looking kind of bad for Andy, but we'll see.
Well,
I mean,
Andy's gonna hit a wall and then can just save scum back to start.
Exactly, he'll probably get locked out quickly.
Morph Ball locks so much. And Zeb thinking for a little bit in there. I hate
you
that.
can
That's
do
my
that
least
room.
favorite room. I hate the aqueducts. I hate both of the sand pits with like the mini dragons. Okay,
Yep.
Andy is saving and quitting here. Now's gonna go find his Morph Ball. So not too big of a delta here.
It's kind of interesting, because look at the sand pit that Zeb's about to do. You see that jump, that gravity jump through the door? Normally you can't do that in vanilla because the previous room is water, but because Map Rando has so many different rooms, you're having a non-water room into a water room. What that means is Zeb was able to carry the momentum of his jump, get that run speed, and then jump through that little sand pit. Normally you can't do that. I don't know if that's an oversight by Andy. If I was Andy personally, I would have actually went back up and done what Zeb did, and then I would have gotten locked out, so it would have been fine. But Andy quickly resetting and grabbing that morph, so works out nicely for him. It looks like Andy's a little bit ahead. Didn't check that door that ended up being useless.
All right, very good. But it's a save room. So do we have to go down one of the sand pits here?
Yes, we absolutely do. And we have to kind of guess which one's the right one, but
all right,
Andy does have the
team left
save.
or team right, chat. Hold on. It'd be funny if we get another, like, Andy chooses left, Zeb chooses right. If you had to pick, do you have, like, a consistent one that you like to do? Like, oh, I'm always going to pick left. I'm always going to pick right. Is it like, do you actually look at the map and see if you're going to be more likely to know? But if you have no information, do you do left or right?
You can, based on the map structure, because there's only so many ways it connects to the bomb, I think I would have picked the left one, and Andy picked the right one. I think you could have deduced that the left one has both the sand pits, because you would expect it to have the left sand pit into the right sand pit. So I think Andy perfectly chose the wrong one. The left sand pit is going to have both sand pits, actually, based off of the map structure, I think.
And he realizes it, and it's not even going to the bottom and resetting to go check it out, because we do know where they lead is nothing. So
the real telltale
we're probably
thing.
going to see some super missiles or power bombs in here. We got to get something.
Yep. But look at Zeb. He's skipping that right sand pit because he's, that big brain that he's got. He knows immediately what I was talking about. The map structure did tell him that the left one was probably the correct choice. So,
all right, there's our power bombs. Oh, taking out spring ball, so Andy intends to get this other item here, which is super missiles. Pretty clean spring ball jump.
Zeb, I'm surprised he's going for this. This is extreme tech. So we're playing on hard difficulty. There's very hard, and then there's expert, then there's extreme, right? And the underwater wall jumps that he's trying to showcase right there is extreme level tech when he can just do the springboard jump, which is in the hard logic. Both of these players actually want 1 pack of missiles right now. And that's funny. They're not getting 1 pack of missiles because that Fantoon map is what they really want to be able to get that map and information, but they're only getting supers. So fighting Fantoon with just 10 supers it's kind of rough. It's really slow.
Look at this. So Andy doesn't know there's a super missile door on the left, right? So instantly going left. So I'm curious if Zeb, as soon as he gets out of the sand pit, is just going to go right for that super missile door to the right. See a little bit of divergence there. Yeah.
It sort of
a little
depends.
bit of information coming back in.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he will. The thing is, like, they really don't want to fight. Okay, they want to fight Fantoon as soon as possible. And look, it looks like you're right. Yeah. Zeb is going to go right. If he can get a spike of missile here, he's fighting Fantoon immediately.
Oh, we just got a little sand pit. Continue exploring.
Ooh, dead end for Andy, and just a refill.
There's nothing over here. Just a refill.
Oh.
See if Andy can avoid doing that.
I wonder what the odds are of them choosing to just fight Fantoon here and just say, you know what, I don't know if I'm going to find a missile anytime soon. One singular missile will speed up the fight so much just because hitting Fantoon with the super, it looks like Andy's just going for it. Throws Fantoon in an enraged state. It takes like an additional 20 seconds, and they're going to have to do that, I believe, 5 times total, which is a pretty big time loss, but looks like no immediate missiles. So Andy's just saying, you know what, I'm just going to do it.
Yeah, I'm curious how he's going to dodge the enraged thing, because I'm always bad at it. But this is pretty cool. I've never actually tried this.
Yep, so Fantoon sort of sprays them on the right and then left, right, left. And then so if you just kind of jump to the top left and the top right of the screen, as long as you're on the correct pattern, you can mostly dodge it. It's definitely easier when you have high jump. But yeah, Andy, quite the pro at this apparently. Zeb's going on quite the journey.
We got Zeb going through the crab maze here, so that's some good information. Find the upper West Ocean. This is pretty huge.
Yeah, I think there's a really good chance he finds a missile here. Freezing that little platform. He doesn't have to,
okay.
But it's just easier to get on.
Power bombs up there. Does Zeb want? It looks like wants to get whatever those are.
Yeah, so the X's on the map signify that it's going to be a power bomb or super missile, and then the circle, the hollow circles, are going to be a tank of some sort. But that's not actually just a regular missile, so that's kind of what Zeb wants, a regular missile pack. So does Zeb just jump down here?
Yeah.
A little risky.
About it for a moment.
Yeah, there's a chance that he could soft lock if he does that. It's kind of unlikely, but there is a world where he soft locks, and I think he's not willing to take that risk. So he's gonna sort of go this way to confirm the path down. Whereas,
Meanwhile, we got one more hit for Andy here on Fantoon on the left side of your screen. But we're back, and there's a missile pack right there.
Okay.
So Zeb's immediately turning around. So you're gonna see how much time just having missiles is gonna help with the Fantoon fight.
You know, given how long it took Zeb to get that, it looks like it's maybe close to a wash, maybe a slight time victory for Andy here, but we'll see, because Zeb's gonna go over there. Zeb's interesting, right? He's a very seasoned map rando player, but he's very much a rando main. A lot of rando players come from being speedrunners, and then they, dip their hands into the randomizer scene. Zeb did a little bit of speedrunning, and then quickly just said, like, the randomizer aspect is a lot more fun for me. So has a little bit less experience in fighting Fantoon with this sort of loadout. But with 5 missiles, it's not the greatest Fantoon, but you saw Andy just finish that fight. It took a really long time. And we have the map for Andy.
Oh, so there is a major down at the bottom of the West Ocean.
There is.
Be surprised if Eddie goes and just grabs that tank and then heads straight there.
Yeah, so It looks like I thought for a second that maybe one of the doors that they saw earlier was Crocomire. Andy is trying to do a grapple jump, but that was a little spicy. I'm surprised he didn't get. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't get hit by the snail, honestly. But yeah, it looks like this map, this is Turian, I believe, right? This Turian map, nice little grapple jump showcased by Andy. That's a high level trick. Would be good for a replay, I think. But yeah, it's a nice little trick where you can grapple, jump up, and then repeat jump as long as you're in that grapple state. It's really cool. But yeah, it looks like there's not much else in this Turian. They're just gonna grab this major and wait a second. Andy chose to abandon that major. It looks like, I think, right? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah, just off into Criteria.
Yep, just wanted to dip straight into Criteria. Chose not to grab that major. I guess that's fine. A little bit of an aggressive major dodge, I think, but I think there was a way back. I don't think you had to fight Crocomire to get back, so... and he's just choosing to do this.
And that's Andy, pretty close, which is super nice.
It is, yeah. So
I love this
looks like it's paying off.
Yeah, let's
go.
Spring
nice.
Ball jump off the wall.
That is a spring ball jump off the wall. We call that the spring wall. Oh, and this is the wreck ship. By the way, Andy's playing on a randomized tile set, so it may look like they're not playing on the same thing, but Andy loves playing on these randomized tile sets. Charge beam.
Charge beam, that's huge.
That's big.
Charge beam, one of the most important items you can get, because as long as you have charge beam, you can kill every boss. Even though it takes a little while, but at least we start with ice beam here, so it's not like you're doing just chip damage against everything.
Exactly. You know, honestly, Kiara, what this means is just with one E-Tank, Andy is almost, not completely, it's kind of like if you play Link to the Past, there's this concept of being boots locked. In the same vein, the only thing that will probably hard lock them at this point is likely to be Speed Booster, if an important objective is behind a Speed Booster lock. But yeah, other than that, like with that charge beam, we have... Ammo is no longer an issue. We could basically beat the game as long as we get like one more missile pack and one more E-Tank for Andy.
Yeah, so Andy farming some power bombs here because power bombs are your only source of going through all the bomb blocks everywhere. There's a little bit of quality life change that has been made for the randomizer where power bombs drop in packs of 2 instead of 1. But hey, we got the ship. Let's go.
Really good change in my opinion. Okay, well, is Zeb going to go for that major? That's the real question.
Yep.
Or is he just going to straight into Criteria like Andy?
Well, it goes down. We're going to see that major. We're going to the major. Okay, there it is.
Yep. Now, we know the value of that major is like, on average, going to be slightly less because charge is one of those majors that you're kind of really looking for. Because we have all this water movement and that Varia suit, effectively, like a lot of these rooms are not going to stop us. We're going to be able to go through almost like 99% of the rooms here, but we'll see. I mean, even if this is just like plasma or something like that, if Andy doesn't find any beams, that could maybe speed us up for a future Ridley and Mother Brain fight.
Yeah, and if it's gravity, I mean, we still have to wait or to get enough E-Tanks to kill Mother Brain, right? So
yes.
Well, I guess gravity doesn't affect Mother Brain damage, but,
Yeah, it doesn't. But if this is gravity, even though Andy can go through almost all the rooms, this is going to make Zeb go so much faster in those bad water rooms. So
I think it's going to be Spazer Beam. Show me the Spazer.
I'm calling Wave.
Oh, Speed Booster. Absolutely massive.
That's really big. That's really big. So obviously that's going to make Zeb go faster. So, the longer this goes, the worse it's going to be for Andy. But if there is a speed locked room, if there's a situation where Andy has to get through somewhere with Speed Booster, this could already spell, huge disaster for Andy if that's required. So
yeah,
definitely big item.
Because it's going to be a while before Andy wants to go down there because that's a dead end, essentially. There's no access, at least I didn't see on the map when we got a brief look at it, any access to any of the other maps, any of the other zones. So you kind of just have to do the trip down there, then backtrack up. So if Andy just runs into all the stuff, he just may... Oh, cool little cheeky little clip there. So potentially... just never sees that if he just keeps on going through. Like now we're in Norfair, and with the map where it was in Criteria, Zeb is going to immediately be able to get that as soon as he gets up to the ship. And it's not going to be too far behind on charge beam. So we kind of have that sunk cost right now going down and getting that speed booster. But it's just going to slowly keep on building up and building up with the potential of Andy just getting hard locked by requiring that. The deeper Andy goes, the worse it gets.
There's a few bad things that are going on. So first of all, they don't have technically what's considered in Rando. They don't have what's called a can fly. So something like bombs or space jump, right? In rooms that have very high ceilings that you can't normally get through, we can traverse those with the ability called can fly. So something that's sort of an alternative for that is the speed booster. We could spark. However, I think in criteria, if I remember correctly, the map was probably in that top right entrance of the ship, which is not something Andy. Yeah, okay, so Andy could not get that because they don't have speed booster. So Zeb's going to get the map immediately. Now Andy's choosing to traverse Norfair, but this is not looking good for Andy unless he goes back, potentially.
Yeah, I cannot believe Eddie just ignoring my insights, saying the exact thing about where the map was and that Zeb's going to get it. Like, is this why I bring you on my show, just so you can talk over me and just say it? Yeah? Yeah?
Exactly.
Right. For the next map, I'm going to kick out Eddie. I'm just going to do solo comms here. I see Oats and Goats in the chat. We can bring him instead.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little nervous about for Andy right here, but we'll see what happens. It's making me laugh seeing, oh, wait. There we go. Andy having access to the map regardless, right here.
Oh, okay. I missed where it was. I could have sworn that was it, but yeah.
Okay, well, let's see here. He does have to do some crab climb shenanigans to get back up there. It's not the easiest thing, but he should be able to do it. So I'm finding that charge beam. Wow, that was not accessible.
Okay. I was off by one tile.
Yep.
Oh, there is a major. Funny. Oh, that's good. We got a major at the top of the gauntlet, as well as one to drop down. So I imagine at least he's gonna want to get a couple of these. He's got to be thinking, I need to get something here.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird, right? Because you have everything you need to like beat the game, sort of. Oh, and he has to do a double springboard jump for this. This is, if he's choosing to do it this way, this is not trivial. So if he pulls this off, that's actually really, really big.
Yeah, instead of just opting to, oh, there it is. Very nice.
The frame window on that is very, very, very tight. So that was getting that first try immediately is pretty sick. Not gonna lie. All right, so Zeb using that speed booster, just flying through the rooms. Yeah, he's gonna probably work his way to the map too. But I'm curious if Andy chooses to go to Norfair or Brinstar. There are a few options here, and he's going back across. Where's he going for this?
I think maybe he's going to go... I was thinking about getting that major, but I think it's just going to, once again, orphan it. Surely it won't bite him in the butt here.
Okay, so he's going to the right. Meanwhile, Zeb is sort of cleaning up, working his way towards the map as he can as well.
Yeah. I think Andy's going to go for the top right Norfair entrance here.
Yes.
Potentially wrap around for a quick major in the gauntlet. We'll see. Still need to get at least one more tank for Andy to be able to survive Mother Brain, but hopefully that actually comes by. But, one thing I'm noticing here that I haven't really been paying attention to, we got 25 super missiles, Eddie.
Yeah.
And we're not that far into this race.
Yes.
we're only 18 minutes in. We got 25 super missiles and 30 missiles. Like, one more pack, that's all you need to kill Ridley. That's all you need to kill Mother Brain. So we're probably in a situation where if either runner just runs across Ridley, it's going to be no problem for them to take it out.
Yep. That is definitely going to be the interesting thing that it does is it actually kind of lowers the value of these majors. When you have charge, the value of the majors goes up if you don't have that much ammo, because the length of that Ridley fight, the length of that Mother Brain fight is going to be proportional to the damage from your beam. But when you have this many supers, we can kill Ridley already at this point with just straight ammo, and it's completely fine. Almost not quite enough for Mother Brain, but Yeah, it basically mitigates the value of the majors because we have so much DPS already that we're not going to gain that much extra time if we find like a plasma here.
All right, so Zeb saves come back to the ship. I think the only reason he'd do that is if he wants to go grab this major here. So we're gonna get some more information of a major that Andy skipped. What's it gonna be? Though the value of plasma definitely going down with how many supers there are.
Mm-hmm. Zeb also resetting a few supers too. Ooh, look at all this movement.
Okay. Who needs space jump, right?
Yep. Not Andy, apparently.
All right.
Like
I predicted, he's going to go in here, and it's Wave Beam and Morph Ball Bomb. So that's a pretty nice combo there.
Yeah.
The Morph Ball Bombs kind of eliminate a lot of the fear here of just being able to get around.
Yep.
There's still a couple rooms that you can't just get hard locked in, but I think Morph Ball Bomb definitely makes it a lot more comfy.
It is interesting. You'll see kind of like a way that this all pans out is slightly different for both players. Zeb opting to get that major at the bottom left does get that speed booster. Also picked up a few extra items in Turian. So, his resources, he has the 10 power bombs, whereas Andy only had the 5 power bombs. So Andy's really happy about these bombs. Zeb probably won't care that much if he finds them. And, the wave beam honestly doesn't help that much, but I would say the bombs are good for Andy, but, if Zeb gets those majors, it's effectively going to be a blank for him.
All right, so Andy back in criteria, I think is going to route this around maybe to go pick up space jump here. Nope, not going down. Does not care about that major.
Now, here's an interesting thing about on Zeb's side. So let's see what's in this room on the left, because this is Croc Speedway. It is a room that can be a speed lock. So if we find something like a one-way green gate on this side at the top room, that means everything on the left of this area of that room would be a speed lock. Zeb has to be careful. He can get into a nasty situation if he falls into the sand. But yeah, Zeb I think forgot he has, knows he has space jump now. Whereas Andy is going to have to traverse this without space jump. So, you can already see Zeb kind of picking up time here. But, and Kiara, do you see this? The crumble blocks. Yeah, this is a one-way. Yeah, unless there's another way it connects, which I don't think there is. That effectively means if we come this way, we cannot get back out unless we have speed booster. And I think it'll be interesting to see Andy's face when he sees this, because I think he's going to realize what this means.
Yeah.
And he might have to go back.
Over here is the question, right?
Yes.
Norfair's huge. I don't know how much of the map is over this way, but the map is over here. Yeah,
the
here we
map
are.
is
We're looking
here.
at it. He knows. But
he's staring.
Is a third exit to criteria somewhere.
Okay.
I think. I want to say there is. Maybe I misread, but.
Oh man, Andy is.
Yeah, see, there's a third exit down there.
Oh, he's looking. Yeah. Look at his face. He's not sure what to do. He's backing out.
Right,
he's backing out. Yeah. Oh no, he knows what just happened right there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it is dangerous. I don't know if he overlooked that major or decided to just make an aggressive skip. I'm just gonna choose to believe that it was the latter, but hopefully he didn't just overlook it.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's still a possibility that, there's just nothing over here.
Yes.
We'll see.
One of the problems with that, even if there is nothing, there is the map. So
yeah, here we go. There's Kraid. There's Mother Brain.
Oh my gosh.
And it looks like there is a roundabout way to get out. And there's access to Meridia and Wrecked Ship. This is pretty huge for Zeb.
Yeah. I actually can't believe that it's not speed locked. It legitimately is not. There was a way to loop back. That's actually totally wild.
Yeah, so Andy may find his way over there. It's a little bit delayed, but the time's running out here because Zeb has everything that he needs to beat the game. He's got all the energy, plenty of super missiles. You got charge beam, so just needs to find the bosses.
Zeb does have to get out with his ice beam. Nice. It's difficult to get across that little ever. You gotta freeze it. It's not easy, but yeah. So there is a boss. I wasn't sure if it was either Dragon or Kraid. And Mother Brain is here.
I think I saw the little bottom exit on the right.
The bottom two doors, yes. So for those who don't know, on the map, if you see the little X's, those signify that it is an objective room. That's going to include Mother Brain, and in this case, we're playing with the boss objectives like the vanilla game. Spacer for Zeb over there, but yeah, if you complete so you basically want to find the X's, defeat the X's, and then get to Mother Brain. So we saw the 4 X's in a row. That is the Mother Brain room. The other one being Crate. If Kiara was able to see that correctly, then that means we can leave that for now because Crate is so close to Mother Brain. We don't have to kill the boss right now. We'll just come back and do that later after we find the other bosses.
It looks like we're heading up to Meridia here. I think this is where it went. Yep. Meridia for Zeb. And they're just going to have so much ammo they don't know what to do with.
Yeah, more than enough. I already have that charge beam, but not really necessary at this point.
Well, here's Crane.
Okay, I guess he's going to take care of it right now.
Probably just going to go do it right now.
Yep.
Yeah, I did see correctly. I'm proud of myself.
We're going to see a nice, looks like probably 4 super quick kill from Zed.
And based off the position, you're going to get a charge shot in the face. It's going to freeze Kraid's claw, and then you swap over and just time 4 missile shots. There goes Kraid. No feet skip. Better than I can do. It's a rare day I get feet skip.
Yep.
Too often I give it away for free.
All right, so nice quick kill from Zeb. Andy, unfortunately, is not really going to be able to traverse these rooms without that map. Just has to go through all these rooms without having that vision, and that's pretty rough. But I think what we know here is it's okay. Well,
there's gravity. That's nice.
That is nice. That's going to speed things up for sure when it comes to the longer water rooms. But, you know, Zeb definitely has the ability to traverse all this stuff, but that's a nice thing to just run into without any vision.
Nope, I love that we found nothing in the spore spawn missile spot because as we started with a bunch of items, those were taken out of the item pool. So there are just some locations that are pre-collected. There's no item there when there normally would be.
Yep. Now, I feel like it's unlikely for Andy to continue going through this Norfer when he basically has no access to the map. So it looked like he was looking at the map and thinking about maybe going into Brinstar. I don't know if he's potentially thinking about going back for that major in Turian, but I feel like he's committed to just fully abandoning it. So we'll see if he chooses to go back and traverse Brinstar instead. I'm kind of feeling like that's what he's doing.
We're not going back to Criteria.
Another room that you cannot get through to the bottom of without speed booster. I'm gonna say that honestly, this is looking really, really rough for Andy. Now, ideal situation, Meridia completely blinks out, which is what Zeb is trying to get the map to, and Brinstar kind of has everything else that Andy wants, including the other bosses. But the other issue is that also means Andy has to somehow find that wild connection that leads to the map, which I don't think he'll do, right? So I'm a little nervous for him, but we'll see.
He's going through the crumbles.
Okay, he's committing to it. Did he find a save point?
He did.
Okay, so it looks like that's what he's doing. That is obviously an extremely risky play. It's a huge commitment because going through the crumbles essentially means that, the game is not going to put a speed booster behind a speed lock. So this is essentially a complete sack for the map. However, Andy is going to see that there is a connection, and there's going to be a sigh of relief when he notices that. So we'll see.
All right, we got Ridley information here on Zeb's side. Looks like he's going straight over there. I'm trying my best to comprehend the maps as they become available. It's a lot to keep track of in Map Random, but yeah. I think we're going to be seeing Ridley here, and then we just need to find Dragon, and that's it. Convenient save point right here.
Oh, so is that a reset for Andy?
Yeah, that was a save scum.
Okay, so that was like a hard reset. I hope in Map Rando, if you do reset, it doesn't have to be a hard reset. So hopefully that's not like a weird setting for Andy right now that's not working properly. But let's see how Andy approaches this. I wonder if he's going to go into Bryn after this. One thing that's making me a little bit nervous, but if Andy has that information, one thing that's making me a little bit nervous is if he starts looking for all of the majors in Brinstar or the other location, on top of maybe finding Dre, if that's the case. That would be bad. But if Andy knows he can finish the game behind, all of that, then yeah, I don't know if he saw that if it wasn't in fact speed locked or not, but we'll essentially see how he plays this out.
I'm getting word potentially from chat that it was a soft lock in a door transition, but I've never had that happen to me personally, so I don't know exactly how that works.
Interesting. I think I heard that nice quick, making short work really with that ammo, but I think Andy actually had this happen to him not too long ago. When he was just kind of playing a seed, he sort of soft locked and lost all his progress. So hopefully he doesn't have any issues with this system, but I think he'll be okay, especially now that he got that map. Did he get that map?
He didn't get the map, I don't think.
Oh, that's not good. That's rough. Okay, well, we'll see what happens when he does get the map, but obviously things are looking good for Zeb.
Uncovered.
Okay.
Unfortunate. But yeah, Zeb here, just hunting for Dragon, so it's gonna peace out of Meridia here because he knows it's not here. I'm gonna guess, good old Wrecked Ship. We're gonna have a boss there. Brinstar's gonna have nothing. Wrecked Ship is gonna have our Dragon.
Well, for Andy's sake, we might want to have Brinstar to have the Dragon, because I think Zeb's going straight back to Wrecked Ship here. And that'll be pretty quick if that's the case. But Zeb is definitely going to enter Wrecked Ship here to see if he can spike the last boss. I have a feeling Andy's going to stare at the map and be shocked that he's not locked here.
Here we go. What a map.
That's kind of unbelievable, I'm not gonna lie.
Right, so Andy, Meridia is pretty big. It's a pretty good place to go to, but we got Wrecked Ship exploration here on the right side of your screen from Zeb. I did not catch a pause to see where the map is, but I swear whenever it's one of these smaller zones, because the map size is relative to how many tiles there are in the base one, but
yep.
Yeah, pretty low health for Zeb, but not even worried at all making it through.
Yeah, rando main Zeb getting through there without that gravity suit, doing a lava dive with high jump.
Hey, we get a major. Oh yeah, this is Spazer. Yeah,
the Spazer that Zeb had to go. Oh, and some more bad water rooms essentially for Zeb. If he wants to get up here, he's gonna have to do a springboard jump and then start grappling the rest of the way. So, and he's gonna be able to fly through this obviously when he goes through it, but we'll see. Wrecked Ship is going to be less likely to have Dragon, just because, as you said, Kiara, Wrecked Ship is going to be the smallest map. It is by tiles, so you kind of have to go in here with Zeb taking some damage, but. I'm having some struggle getting up Everest here, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see if Dragon's here. If so, that's great for Zeb. If not, then Zeb's doing all these slow rooms for essentially nothing. But we'll have the information that Brinstar is where he has to go after.
Yeah, not sure if there's anything Andy can do here, unfortunately, without that speed booster. But let's go ahead and see. And Wrecked Ship is empty. There is a major. But Total I can't imagine that Zeb goes for this now.
Yep. Now, Zeb really wishes he had he must not have taken a recent save. If he did, he would have immediately reset and just headed straight to Brinstar. But it looks like he did not save before coming in here. And sometimes you just don't have a save that's easy access, so you just have to, take your losses and just walk it out. But that's looks like what he's doing.
Continuing pressing on.
Was there another region? Is he going for the seed thing?
I think he is.
Okay.
There's nothing else connecting this to my knowledge.
All right, so it looks like he just wants the seed tank It's a reserve.
It's just a wreck ship. Yeah, I'm seeing the shake of disappointment here. It's like, dang, I was really hoping for that refill. The reason being is that he has to go backwards through the lava dive, right?
Yes.
So the only thing he can do is either farm HP, and was hoping that was going to be it. Unfortunate. You can farm HP very slowly off of these crabs here, but which he's starting to do. I'm curious how much HP. What's up?
I've got to say, it kind of looked like it was totally lights out for Zeb. Or sorry, for Andy, right? But this is about as bad of a situation as you could have gotten into, right? If you're Zeb. Yeah, because, Andy just kind of like randomly found the gravity suit, which, in these modes, like we said, we have the movement to traverse. And, Zeb was able to do that bootless lava dive, is able to traverse all these water rooms, but he does it slowly. And so when Andy almost certainly will get here himself, he's just gonna fly through all these rooms and not have to struggle like Zeb is right now.
Thankfully, there is a save right here to worry about.
Yep.
Oh,
and another reset.
Another crash? Was that another crash by any chance? Oh no.
I hope not.
I think it was. Because we're back in Norfair with
that
a lot less stuff.
Well, is he going into Meridia? Because Meridia, it did blank out, correct?
Yeah, it blanked out. No signal. Yeah.
Okay. So that's kind of rough. Hopefully his system isn't just in trouble here, but...
All right, so here we go. Just enough HP remaining for Zeb to get out. Yeah, super unfortunate with the hardware problems.
Right, so Andy making his way back up the Meridia. Looks like he wasn't able to get that map, but yeah,
No, wasn't able to get the map. Yeah.
Okay, did get the map. Has to take care of that Ridley fight that we were talking about earlier. Okay, but at least has the map information, so doesn't have to retraverse all of that. But yep, Zeb is out of wreck ship and is going to be heading towards Brinstar.
Yeah, we're gonna have to ask Zeb after this how much he paid off Andy's Super NT to, or SNES Junior. I know Andy used to do a SNES Junior. I'm not sure if he still does, but we'll see.
We're about to find out.
So Eddie, what do the tournament rules say about game crashes?
If the game crashes, that's kind of on you. Yeah, so just make sure you're playing on a system that is not going to have too many issues. So, Andy about to make short work of this Ridley fight. But yeah, that's the rough part. But obviously, that's not in. It would be different though if Zeb in fact did pay off Andy's console. Then we're gonna have to look into that further. But
Yep, Ridley down. So Zeb making his way down to Brinstar, which I think is the only place we haven't been. So we know Dragon's there.
Mm-hmm.
The question is where. Will, in these situations where the boss is there, do you always just like push for the map, or are you gonna check random rooms on your way to the map just in case you run into it?
I think there are some situations where it's pretty rare that you can just not go for the map and just try to like find the room, but I would say Mother Brain is probably the biggest case of that, because the way Mother Brain works is you can't normally, unless you beat Mother Brain, you can't go back out the left. So if you find 2 left doors, and let's say you go through one and it's a 4-tile room, you are very suspicious that the room under or above it is also going to be 4 tiles, because it has to loop back through Mother Brain, right? Mother Brain, there needs to be a way back from Mother Brain, because you can't go through that room. So there are situations where you have to think about that. But in most cases, I don't like just kind of like checking random rooms to see if the boss is there, because if you're traversing the map, you are also going to be checking random rooms along the way, because naturally you might just run into the room itself, right? So I personally don't see the value in just kind of like, hoping for the best there. I'd rather just make my way towards the map, because you still might run into the boss.
I look at Kraid just hiding there, lurking underneath the spikes. It's pretty cute, right?
Yeah, that was a little cute. Yep.
It's like, like, if I can't see her, she can't see me.
Uh-oh. Oh. Unfortunate. Looks like we're going to see the crate's feet today.
Oh my goodness.
Look at those toenails.
Yeah, we need to get some subs in chat for that. You got to pay for that. That's at least 5 subs right there.
Ooh, Andy kind of locking the crane mouth. Oh, but still gets the kill. Zeb about to find the bridge map.
Yep. How far away is Dragon? Not too far. There it is. So Zeb, we'll be wrapping up here shortly for game number 1. But I guess, it's never over till it's over, Still gotta go beat Mother Brain.
Gotta take care of Mother Brain and then escape back to the ship.
Yep. No one's ever failed the escape, ever.
So, if there's one person that's ever failed at escape, funny enough, Zeb and I were in a previous tournament match before, and I got into the situation where I was just death looping on Ridley, so I sort of essentially lost my chance to beat Zeb. He's an excellent rando player, right? But Zeb somehow managed to fail the escape like 4 times in a row, and actually made it really close. He didn't see that there was another path that was significantly faster, so that might be the one instance where someone has failed the escape in this tournament like multiple times straight, so we'll see. Zeb, I don't... Okay, so it looks like he's
he's going for the grapple kill.
Okay.
I missed. Was that yet another crash? Poor Andy.
We're about to find out.
At least Ridley's down, but yeah.
He did make his way to the save room and then saved, so...
Yeah.
I am
is still
interested in what's
down,
going on.
so that's good.
Let's see what's going on here. So Zeb now has all the bosses down. So never mind the tracker that Zeb has to manually control, but Zeb does have all the bosses down. And he is going to be heading over to Mother Brain, and then the escape pod mode starts. So you might wonder, in vanilla Super Metroid, you have a 3-minute escape timer. So the question might be like, okay, so how do they calculate the escape timer, right? And honestly, that was a massive undertaking by the developers. Essentially, every single door transition. So, by the way, one thing we want to point out is when you do beat Mother Brain, you do get immediate access to all equipment. So you have a full loadout. You'll have, if you don't have speed booster, you'll get your speed booster. You'll get your high jump. You'll get all the suits. Andy missing that real quick, but from that point on, the devs basically did every single room and every door to door by hand to calculate essentially like a base time on how long it takes to get through. And then they add a multiplier based on the difficulty that you're playing. So every single room is handcrafted. Every single possible permutation of getting through a door transition has been handcrafted. So that's a lot of work to essentially calculate the escape timer. It was a massive undertaking, and that's how the escape is calculated.
One thing I wanted to ask about is does it take into account speed boostering from a previous room, or is it only you enter with no speed in this room and then that's what it's going to be?
It is calculated by you enter the room and you stop on a dime and completely stop and then start moving. Okay. So
you get a little bit of an advantage against it by preserving speed through stuff.
Exactly. So it helps if you can maintain momentum and fly through a room. So there are plenty of rooms like that, but that's how you can sort of gain time on the timer. So if you understand how that works, then you're wondering how do they calculate how much health you need for the runs when you don't have Varia for the heat rooms. And you'll soon realize how much work was put into this randomizer. It was a lot of handcrafted heat values. So yeah, tens of thousands of lines of code, essentially, way more than that. So it's really great. All right, refill for Zeb, getting all that ammo back.
Yep. That's what you need. I mean, 25... Is 25 regular missiles enough to take out the brain? I always forget. Somewhere around there, right? The initial, the brain tank, and getting to phase 2. Because 30 supers will make quick work of Mother Brain phase 2.
Yeah. So Mother Brain phase 1 is interesting. Mother Brain phase 1 has 3,000 health, which essentially means 5 supers. The problem is it takes 18 projectiles total to break the glass completely. And until Mother Brain's glass is completely broken, that fight will not end. So you technically only need 5 supers or 30 missiles, but you need at least 18 projectiles. And then to expose the brain, it takes 6 missiles total. So for pure missiles, you would need 36 missiles to end Mother Brain 1 if you're only using missiles. So lots of kind of weird calculations that you have to take into consideration. But yeah, if we're talking about just beating Mother Brain 1, then usually I would say just have something like 15 missiles, 5 supers or something like that. And that's enough to make sure that it's good because that's 20 projectiles, meets the 18 missile requirement or 18 projectile requirement. All right, so Andy flying across to the right. Don't know if he is heading to Bryn or if he kind of already chose to do the wreck ship part.
He did peek into wreck ship.
Okay, peeked into wreck ship, taking that save, and look at Zeb kind of having to do all this like really slowly, right? If it wasn't for kind of like the unfortunate issues that Andy was having, it'd be interesting how much closer this could have possibly been. But I guess we'll ask him kind of what was going on after this.
One way that all the escape timers was made possible is this is another quality of life change for the randomizer. After you beat Mother Brain, you got the hyper beam. The game will give you all the upgrades. You'll have everything. So you'll have all the movement. That way, it's always a consistent amount. You're not doing the escape with no speed booster, and it becomes impossible, right? But surely entering the escape sequence here. But, yeah, 27 supers is nice because having only charged Spazer does take quite a bit. So we're gonna see Spazers at the start until 27 health. And there we go.
Yeah.
Math. I always forget all the damage values.
Yeah, I believe that's going to be 180, so only have to do like 5 or 6 shots. I think Zeb's still going to have to get a few shots in here, but it's not too many, just a few more. Or maybe that's good enough. But yeah, I don't, Kiara, I know you're talking about the escape. I don't know if you mentioned, but how the hyper beam essentially works, but because this rainbow beam will take away all of your resources, missiles, power bombs, and supers, the hyper beam actually, this isn't in vanilla, but the hyper beam will essentially open up all red doors, green doors, and bomb blocks. So that is essentially how we would get through the rooms. For example, if there was a green gate, you could just hyper beam it and get through, and that is a map rando thing, so that is not in vanilla.
Yeah, because you don't need that in vanilla, because all the doors are blue.
Exactly.
You're not going to get stuck. Doesn't it actually like lock you out of everything except the animals room too?
Yes, pretty much.
Yeah, so you can't even figure it out. So the game doesn't give you an opportunity to interact with non-blue doors with hyper beam.
Exactly. So I'm heading over. Short escape time, or just over a minute.
Yeah, criteria is pretty close. At least under these settings, the ship is always going to be in the criteria zone. Or I could be hip. I can be hip and call it the criteria biome.
Okay. Very hip of you.
You use the use the young people's language here. Every zone is now a biome, right? So,
all right, here we are at the ship. Zeb's running through. GG.
GG's with a 48.08 Zeb with the first place. Andy sees the done in there. And everybody, we're going to go into a short break here before we bring our runners in for a brief chat about the race. as well as our pick for the next race that we're going to be doing after this. But make sure you join the official GDQ Discord and add the Hotfix role, where you can keep tabs on upcoming events, talk with staff, and more. Use !Discord and Twitch chat for more info. And if you missed out on any... Welcome back from the break, everybody. I want to remind everyone to go to gamesdonequick.com/hotfix to check out this season's lineup and check out the schedule for an in-depth look at this week's run. So I am joined once again by Eddie, my lovely co-commentator, and our racers, Andy and Zeb. And I have just one question for Zeb, and that is, how much money did he have to send to Andy's console to pay it off to do what it did last race?
I really don't think that I would need to do that to beat Andy. So I don't think you can blame me for that. But yeah, that's really, really unfortunate that your console crashed like multiple times. Whereas I can just win easily without it. It just like kind of tars the victory a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. It was mostly like the Norfair map was so bad, and there were no saves like anywhere on the left side or the right side of Norfair. And so one of my crashes was on the right side, and I was like going through like LN escape, like the single chamber room, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that single chamber? Yeah. And then I like crashed at the top of Crab Shaft. So I had to run all the way back from like where the C door was, all the way on the right, all the way back left. It was bad. But
I've got a question for both of you, actually. Probably starting with Andy, actually, but it's going to be another question regarding that. But Andy, did you see the major at the bottom left of terrain where you started? And
that was dead to me.
You chose not to get it.
Yep, yes, I saw that, and I was like, if that's speed, GG, I guess. That's pretty much how I felt from the bat.
So let's talk about that Norfair map and how you get to it. And Zeb, can you tell us what that major was?
You didn't need speed.
Was that speed?
That was speed. Yeah. And no, you didn't need speed. That was pretty crazy. I don't know if, what thoughts you had on that.
It was an extremely terrible way to get back down to Brinstar without it. Let me tell you.
It was.
But yeah, I was pretty much just like, that's so far, and like if that's speed, maybe we just won't get speed locked. That was the idea.
Mm-hmm. You did choose to commit to the what you probably thought was a one-way to the Norfair map. I was wondering what your thought process there was.
The first time, it had been so long since I had saved that I was like, I can't just like YOLO this. That would be the most insane thing. I didn't have gravity yet either.
Yep.
And I think I still should have been fine because Varia plus movement.
Yeah.
For the most part. But I couldn't commit with how long it had been. I think I would have lost. I would have like been back at the ship at my first dip in criteria, I think, if I had just committed and gotten stuck.
Mm-hmm. So you kind of went on a journey on the right. And what did you end up finding there again?
The blind grav, top right.
Yeah.
That made it kind of close, actually.
So yeah, that was nice. And then like I was able to route in like kind of nicely the wave morph bombs as well. Going on that side of Norfair, but
was such a confusing layout this time. There were so many loops all over the place, like the one-way exit into the top of the gauntlet items, and just so many one-ways all over the place. It was great.
I was also really mad after the early game stuff, was whatever. Me choosing to go left at Moat instead of right was kind of unfortunate to start.
Yeah, literally that was the first thing we saw was, you went left, Zeb went right, immediately getting that morph ball. And, the morph ball actually, early on, I mean, really the big play was, Zeb going down and getting that speed booster, which was a really awful spot for it. So I don't blame you for skipping it. But
I almost bailed on Fantoon early too. And I was like, I was debating as I was like climbing back up to Fantoon after doing the pits. And I was like, as long as there's not a missile literally to the left of that super door, I'll feel okay about this. And then guess what was literally to the left of that super door? And I was like, man. But, you know, it is what it is.
The good thing is, at least for your sake here, for your knowledge here, you were, the first to take out Fancy and the first to the map. And, having that morph ball early, Zeb early game kind of ended up checking a lot more dead ends than you did. So, that kind of worked out where at least until the split to go get Speed Booster, you were in a pretty good position, at least in the opener.
Yeah, I felt like I played pretty well. Even without the crashes, I don't think I win this. I'm probably like pretty close, but I'm probably like a couple minutes behind a Mother Brain.
Well, this is a best of 3. That was only game number 1. We're over on the Super NT now, so this is
we'll see how this goes. And if I lose this, I have double Johns. I have SNES Crash, and I've never played on a Super NT in a competitive setting before.
I like that strat.
You can use whatever excuses you want. It's fine.
All right, so Zeb picked map number 1, or I keep on saying map like I'm playing StarCraft. I'm just so used to doing that. Or category number 1. Andy, what is our category number 2 that we're going to be racing here?
Ooh, we're going to hope for a Zeb Nevdi morph in this next one, and we're going to go with double suit.
Double suits. Okay, so starting with Gravity Suit and Varia Suit really just opens up so much of the game right after the get-go. So I guess, so Zeb, how do you feel about this category?
I think this should be another easy win. Pretty skill heavy seed. I was kind of expecting Andy to choose no objectives next.
We leave game 3 to RNG, boy. We leave game 3 to RNG. But yeah, it's a really interesting mode. Having both suits lets you traverse through so many rooms right off the rip. And so you can, like, you take a couple wrong turns and you end up being like 30 minutes away from Morph Ball. Or 49 minutes, I guess, in some people's case.
49 minutes, yep. I can't believe nobody's getting hit here.
It can be like a coin flip to whoever gets to morph first, and that can just be like a huge, you just start however many minutes behind you are late to morph if you take some wrong turns. And I have that blind map sense, I'm good with directions.
Yeah, there you go. Look, whenever Andy's in the car with me, I'm going to make him navigator. So we did successfully get through Zion that one time. So
as long as Google Maps actually has roads that exist on the map, we should be fine.
Oh my goodness. That's a story for another time, chat. But the seed has been delivered, so I just want to make sure you all know that. To go ahead and grab that. Everyone, big shout outs for Eddie here, our seed generator of the evening, making sure Andy and Zeb do not have to do it themselves. So thank you, Eddie, for that. That's so nice of you.
I don't think it was by choice, but yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, Andy basically demanded this. So.
Pretty much, yeah.
in the off-stream talk here. Eddie, one thing I do want to talk about is this this logo for Zeb's capture card here. This seems super old school here. It's like, my goodness, what is Zeb playing on here? How is it still working? What antique shop did you get this capture card from?
I can pull out my Dazzle DVC 100 for you, Zeb, if you really need. That might be in a box in my closet
just the
somewhere.
Best software. I mean, I think that's why I won the last tournament. I think that everyone should just use this.
Okay.
That is true. Ooh, busted out the tournament results. Season 1, or the first SGL. Map Random tournament ends up winning that. But what's more important is in head-to-head matches, Andy, prior to this, who's up?
I mean, in IRL head-to-head matches,
exactly.
I'm up 1-0.
Exactly. Ooh.
So I promised Zeb I wouldn't talk about that experience. We can't, there's like an 8-person race at Speed Gaming Live, and I I finish and I got to run to another race, and I see Zeb, and he's just, I don't know what he's doing. I said, I looked at him and said, "Better luck next time, champ," and I had to leave.
Oh boy.
All right.
We need an override again, by the way, Mr. Eddie.
Yes,
Got it.
Good thing we have you here to do all this.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be the unfortunate race where I find out it's my flash card that's dying and not my Super Nintendo. I hope not.
Well,
hopefully that's not the case.
I'll say this. Do you have a spare flash card?
I mean, if it crashes multiple times again, I don't think I'm beating Zeb either way. But yes, I do. In the rare case that it crashes and I win because Nev demorph, then yes, I can go grab another one.
I'm sure it'll be fine. All right, Zeb, how are things looking over there? You ready to go?
Yep. If you could switch the scene, because I'm going to need to change something in a different scene. So, okay.
We got you. So, Eddie, double suit kind of makes sense. What was the logic here behind the band category that we have today? We're not going to be seeing, but apparently it's quite hated. The Metroid's objectives, no Mother Brain 2. Where did that one?
Oh, the one that's banned.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once again, 5 categories. I knew double suit was going to be popular, so that's a natural one. Then you can kind of extrapolate from there. Well, why don't we make the pseudo suits, right? You start with one Varia, or you start with gravity, and then you sort of have the tools to not get those items. The idea behind that essentially is like, okay, now you have to question whether or not you're going to pick up those majors because the value has diminished when you don't really need that suit. Those are obvious. I knew no objectives was something I wanted to add because it's actually a lot of fun, changes the game in a way that is pretty dramatic, right? Because now you're suddenly going, okay, if I find Mother Brain, it's not a matter of like going to every zone and just finding all the maps. Now it's a matter of like, I need to just pick up all the resources that I see immediately. So all the resources suddenly become the valuable thing. And so the Metroid's No Mother Brain 2 is functionally pretty similar. The idea behind having No Mother Brain 2 is you don't need the resources to beat Mother Brain 2, and that's going to normally be 6 E-Tanks without Varia suit, or 3 E-Tanks with Varia suit. And not only that, you'll need at least 30 supers, or more ammo or charge beam. And so if you have the Metroids, Ridley functionally has the same sort of resources requirement for Mother Brain 2. So by doing away with Ridley and doing away with Mother Brain 2, you could essentially beat the game on almost nothing. So that's kind of the reason behind having the Metroids and no Mother Brain 2. But that can make the seeds very, very difficult because you're not incentivized to pick up extra E-Tanks. So it gets into a situation where a lot of people end up death looping. So yeah, that's it. But it looks like our runners are getting ready to roll soon.
Yep.
So whenever I'm ready
seeds
to
match. Good job. You clicked the same link. I'm proud of both of you. So Zeb, are you good to go?
I'm ready.
Andy, you good to go?
Yup.
Okay. All right. That was a little bit delayed. I got a little bit concerned there.
Yeah, I think he's a little scared.
Yeah. We'll see. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get you to deafen. So go ahead and ready up in the race room and start the race at your earliest convenience.
All right. I will drop the gates.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for game number 2. Andy Unleashed here. The countdown is going. We got 10 seconds till the start, but if there's no crashes here, and we get that Neb demorph ball. Imagine being so infamous you have an unfortunate occurrence named after you.
Yep.
I would wear that as a badge of honor.
If you're Neb, you don't.
Our only option is right. And instant check of the map. We're in Norfair, and the map is super close. This is actually pretty nice to have early on because Norfair is the biggest zone with the most room. So we're gonna get so much information here.
This is going to be interesting. Andy is someone that can move Andy's like a pure, he's so good at video games, right? But, Zeb is kind of the rando main. Zeb is actually not known for moving particularly quick. He's kind of more known for just having a really big brain, essentially. But what that essentially also means is it doesn't matter how good you are at this game, how fast you are, how crispy your ledge grabs are, how good your wall jumps are. If you kind of make one wrong turn, or you sort of just take one wrong step, and Zeb does not do that, he makes all the time back, right? And so that's kind of what Zeb's skill set is. But Andy obviously just has so much experience himself in randos in general, but we'll see. They're both going kind of in different directions.
Yep, Andy going across the lava moats at the start of Lower North there. We did get eyes on Golden Teresa there. And
Golden Teresa was interesting. Yeah, ooh, Andy just completely in another zone here. So I guess that map, I didn't get a quite good look, but I guess it was kind of inaccessible.
The Norfair map is morph ball locked. Oh, we find the spore spawn exit there. Andy gonna say, nope, getting the heck out of there.
This is looking really good for Andy. Andy could go to the right there, but I think it would lead to maybe something else. But yeah, this is looking really good for Andy. Is that another zone? Oh my gosh, we're in Brinstar into Meridia. But yeah, it looks like Zeb sort of cleared out Big Pink and it sort of blanked out completely, right? So it kind of looks like Andy's in a potential. Oh my gosh.
There's Morph. Oh, and we have Zeb taking the elevator. Andy skipped this and headed on right now there.
He's smiling. You can see right there he was smiling. Tried to lay a bomb but couldn't. But yeah, he ran right into it. That was amazing.
Oh, we got Ice Beam up the elevator, so.
Oh, interesting.
If that is the only way back, that will be probably when Andy hits that up.
Yeah.
Oh, and an E-Tank and Spazer. Okay, so a lot of beams up that elevator.
Yeah, so it's interesting to know, item progression-wise, we're playing on tricky item progression. That's what the tournament settings typically are. Andy's trying to do a difficult trick. Oh, nice. That D-boost is not easy. Breaking a little bit of logic here, but I think we could sort of deduce that those majors were going to be beams, because in tricky item progression, beams are considered filler, as is X-ray. And so we know that Morph is going to be the progression item, right? Because Andy just found it. So we could, from our view, can probably deduce that those two majors were going to be filler. So even though Ice Beam typically unlocks a lot of things in the game, it is a beam and it is considered filler. That doesn't mean that it can't be progression. It just means that the game sort of indiscriminately will put it down somewhere in a spot, as opposed to saying, oh, let's put this down because it is a progression item.
Yeah, see if Andy goes up the elevator. I figure now's the time to do it, if you're going to do it at all. So, nope. Don't need it. Who cares?
Chooses not to. So, here's the one issue. We don't have explosives, right?
No.
So, yeah, Andy is incentivized at this point to follow logic. So, we know that we have Morph. So, what you typically want to do is, get the map, right? So you want to go into things that are now opened by Morph. Map is not part of logic. It's just a thing that is very useful to players, but this is going to give us all the information that we want.
All right, so we got, there are those two majors up the elevator. I mean, that's a quick access there. We got Dragon up on the top left. I didn't see any access to other zones on the top left. But I did not see it scroll over there.
Quick little reset.
Save there. Not going to worry about the other major. I imagine with how close those majors are together, you just go up there and check them.
Pretty much, yeah.
You can get two of them extremely quick here. And,
yes.
And he's going to go grab those beams. So that's going to level it off there.
Yep. That's really the cool thing about Map Rando. Saving, it's one of those things where, if you've got a big ego, you're like, I don't need to save. That's just wasting time. But the truth of the matter is, in Map Rando, very often you don't have the information and then you might pick up the map. So the saves, you very often want to think of them as teleports. So you want to save a lot more than you would think so that you could then use it as a teleport. It does have rolling saves. So you will not just roll over your one save. There's 3 saves that it'll continuously go over. And then after your 4th save, it'll roll over the first one. So very important to save often, to use it as a teleport like Andy did to save some time. And Zeb gets his Morph.
So Andy, I think, done with Warfare for now. Yeah. That is a pretty annoying Dragon location. Because again, there's nothing else up here. So, yeah, there's no way to kill him right now with this equipment loadout. So both of our runner racers here are going to have to figure out when it's going to be best to come back over here and just go kill Dragon, because it's not going to get any quicker the deeper you go. So
Yep. Ooh, Zeb having some trouble is trying to use the bugs to essentially climb up there instead of doing that deboost that Andy did. Fortunately, having a little bit of trouble here. Let's see if he can get it on this next attempt here. If you scroll the camera off, unfortunately not quite getting it, but yeah, if you scroll the camera horizontally, the bugs will disappear. Vertically, it's fine, but horizontally, they disappear, and that's kind of what's trolling Zeb a little bit right now. Oh, he's gonna deboost off this. Nice.
And you find the aqueduct. Can't actually get through there without power bombs. So back to the search we go.
So there were 2 X's on the left over there that Andy chose not to pick up. That seemed a little strange to me. Maybe I saw that wrong. Perhaps that was a different room. But Andy's kind of really looking for power bombs. That's the one thing he really needs before like the world really fully opens up to him. So for him, when I'm looking on the map, if I see an X, like I don't treat that lightly. It looks like Zeb. Okay, they're in the same spot. So I think Zeb also ignored that. The problem is, okay, so Andy's gonna gamble on this. If this isn't a power bomb, he's locked. Oh my gosh.
Well,
that's big.
He did literally just save before coming on here. So this is a calculated move.
Okay, got it. So it looks like he went down, found the save, and then went for it. I think Zeb is going to do the same thing once he finds that. Now, these aren't logical power bombs. The randomizer will typically, like, what ends up happening is if, let's say you go down a bunch of water, you will not find high jump or gravity down there unless you break multiple sets of logic. The randomizer will prevent that from happening. That is not the case for these filler items. You can kind of gamble and hope that you are bailed out by that item for something like a power bomb. But don't do that with something like a major. So if you're saying, well, if I find Varia, I can make it out of here, the game's not going to do that for you. It knows to not do that for you in most cases.
There are a couple cases where you can get bailed out, but we got Zeb picking up the map. Also finds like, dang, I really wish Dragon wasn't over there. That's so unfortunate. I hate seeing that. There is a major up there.
Ooh.
If you opt to go for it. Oh, space jump from Andy.
Yeah, nice snail clip from Andy. Out of logic unless you have
let's get a replay
booster.
on that maneuver right there. That was awesome.
Not only that, playing on the weird tile set, so just able to do it with the weird tile set. Yeah, well played by Andy. Not currently in logic, but only takes a little bit to put that in logic. Right. So Andy in quite a good with that powerbomb sequence bake. Andy honestly in a pretty good spot. I wonder at what point he chooses to go back to fight that Dragon, because there's also a major item near that Dragon as well. So you're incentivized to do it, but Dragon with these resources is honestly quite slow. You kind of want at least speed booster maybe. Another set of power bombs. Something Zeb can't currently get. But yeah, something like a grapple or a charge beam with like plasma. That's kind of what's more ideal. But yeah, if Andy gets like 4 more super packs, he'll just probably go back.
Yeah, Zeb doing the same thing. Went to go save, is now going to go up here, take the one way, and get rewarded with his power bombs.
Mother Brain find for Andy, so that's good information, but still have to beat all the bosses before coming back here. But that does make things a little bit easier. Andy's smiling right now. He thought he was going to get the map, but
no,
it's a new region.
Oh, that was really good. I thought for sure we were gonna hit the map. Like, nope. How about criteria?
Oh man, yeah, getting trolled. That's map rando for you. It's pretty funny how that works out. But
yeah, sometimes you gotta just make a gamble. Are you gonna go top door or bottom door? Which one's gonna lead to the map? You don't know.
Yep.
And sometimes that happens.
But looks like this location, the criteria is always good, knowing the location of the ship. And this map location looked pretty good too. So. We'll probably be okay.
All right. See Zeb going for the same snail clip here.
Oh, that's too high. This is a 2-pixel window without high jump, so I think that one's good. Uh-oh. Oh, this is kind of his last chance before he has to reset the room.
There we go.
Nice.
Save.
Well played by Zeb. So, Zeb is the Super Metroid rando main, but Andy is cooking with this movement. He's getting all the tricks on like the right timing. He went the right way in the beginning, committed to the power bomb, the kind of the gamble power bomb, and got it before Zeb. And yeah, looking really good. Oh, this is big too, Kiara, because Zeb only has one power bomb and did not want to use that power bomb to check the item in the wreck ship shaft. If he did that, he would have gotten another power bomb pack, but didn't choose to commit to that. So if he plays on this one power bomb, he might be in a bad situation. So if he doesn't find a farm right here, he might be down a power bomb pack on Andy, and that can always be quite slow and honestly scary to play with.
Yeah, I mean, depending on the room, if you run into crabs, usually you're gonna get some. There's a couple enemies that just guarantee will give you power bomb drops.
Yep.
So, Zeb hoping for that, but this is one of the easiest things to just get completely locked on early game. Is you have we got some crabs here.
Ooh, crate over here in criteria. And a major. So Andy's definitely doing that right away. It's just a matter of what's his next play. Is he going to go to the ship and grab the major and head into Turian? Or is he going to go back down to maybe Dragon? I think based on what we're seeing, you sort of have to clear crate here and then probably go back to the ship, grab that major, and head straight to that Turian to find the rest of the bosses, because we know where that Mother Brain is at this point.
So there's a neat trick to, while we're going around and hunting for new places. There's a pretty neat trick you can just have game knowledge of to kind of pinpoint where Phantoon is, because Phantoon is always going to be in a same tile set. So there's got to be multiple doors with a left door that opens up into a map station, because there is a map station that is powered down. That's been the whole behavior. And so you don't have to go all the way across the world to find Phantoon and power up that map station. It's always going to be in the same super tile, or whatever you want to call it, the same room connection as Phantoon is.
Yes, it's actually vanilla behavior.
There's 2 left-facing maps, right? Or is it
3. There's 3.
Yeah, there's 3 left-facing maps.
Right.
So you see one, you got a 1 and 3. That's going to be Phantoon. So yeah, that also kind of gives you a lot of information in general. If Phantoon's your last boss, you just go rush those map rooms, because one of them's got to have Phantoon.
Exactly. Actually, one of the notable things is the water tiles in this game are in Map Rando. You can tell that they're kind of like checkered with a dark, like a dark palette. That includes the water map room. And the water map room is actually a right door, a right map room. So if you enter a zone, you're only looking for Phantoon, and you see that, let's say Norfair has a water map, you know to just not go into that. You know that you don't have to go into Norfair, essentially. So that is kind of a high level play. But these players are both capable of doing that. So yeah.
So we did pick up Spring Ball there for Andy. Value greatly diminished having space jump, but
yes,
not having to bomb through everything. Spring Ball, it's somewhat useful still, like just to speed things up if you have it.
Now, Kira, I've got to say, so far, I think the way that you play this seed is pretty straightforward, and Andy got a pretty significant lead off the beginning of the game. So I think you're going to actually be seeing Zeb mostly follow in Andy's tracks. So it's kind of looking really good for Andy right now.
Taking a look at his next move here.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Andy, you might see him turn around right now. Why not just go through that down door? I think he just realized that's Croc. That takes a really long time. So he's going back right and then going to go down. Yeah, Zeb's still playing on the 5 power bombs. Never went back because, why why continue on and check, the single item check that could just be straight up just be a missile versus continuing on for progression. So the one thing that Andy did that sort of, got Zeb a little bit further on catching up is we got the DLC again. We saw Kraid's feet for a second time on Andy's side.
I should have asked for a replay for the feed. All right.
Yeah.
Well, all right.
Oh.
This is important. There we go. Wait for it. Are you gonna fall down? Can't see it. Let's get a replay here. We're getting to see the Kraid DLC. There it is. There's the feet right there. Instant GDQ instant replay for this. This is very rare to see this happen this many times in a race at this level. So
it is important to know that Andy's was definitely Andy's fault. He messed up the strategy, whereas Zeb just actually didn't have any super missiles. So Zeb is not doing this voluntarily. He just had to do it, but we are getting the Kraid feat.
Yeah, no, that may be my favorite replay of all time right there, just seeing Kraid come up to the ground. Everybody, shouts to Richard handling production today, as always.
Oh, screw attack. Okay.
That's nice.
It's nice. It doesn't really do much, but it is nice. It's more of a helpful item, kind of like that spring ball for us. But yeah, it's nice. We'll put it that way. So one of the things that both these players are maybe a little bit worried about now is this is the question you're always asking at this point of the game. If I find Ridley, how do I kill Ridley? That's the only thing that they're worried about. So they're thinking about their ammo counts. You can see Zeb picking up that missile. If Zeb sees any missiles from here on out that are like relatively easy to grab, he's going to be picking them up. The alternative option is you just ignore all of them and you just pray that you find charge. That is the other way to do it. But these players should remember that there was a major by Dragon that could be charged.
I was just going to bring that up.
Exactly.
If that's charge beam, and then you just never find it. So.
Yep, and then it's disastrous. Yep.
But ultimately, the game's got to give you super missile packs if you're going to take them. So. Yep. Nice worst room in the game. So this is where screw attack is super nice. You don't have to worry about that room.
Exactly. All this heat right now, you can't really tell on the palette, but we have double suit, so they're all effectively just normal rooms anyway. That's a quick map.
Turian map. There's.
Andy's cracking up too. The greatest map of all time.
There is an X item there. We'll see if. I think this will give us Andy's mindset here if he goes for it. It wasn't too far out of the way, that potential super / powerbomb pack.
Yeah, that was the fastest reset I've ever seen out of it. And he reset that so fast that it almost looked like his game crashed again. So it was the fastest reset I've ever seen. Yeah, it looks like he's heading over and wants to get that Brid map where Mother Brain is, because I think that might be the rest of it. Have we seen Meridia? What zones are left here at this point?
Have we seen Wreck Ship?
I'm not sure. Was that the Turian map? Because if that's Turian, that's wild. Because
that was the Turian map, right?
Wow, that was such a small. The Wreck Ship map is gonna be like 5 tiles. It's gonna be the smallest thing you've ever seen.
All right, here is screw attack for Zeb. So like you're saying, we're gonna see Zeb follow Andy here for a little bit. So none of these major items being skipped. But let's take a peek at Brenstar.
Yeah, Kiara, I've got to say, I do think this is a pretty straightforward seed, right? So this is kind of Andy's seed to lose, I believe, right? I mean, I think they're mostly going to be making the same plays. The path is fairly straightforward, and I'm not really seeing Andy make too many mistakes. So we sort of have to keep our eyes on Andy. I don't think Zeb is going to be too inefficient with everything he's doing. He's going to be, it's pretty straightforward. So this is kind of about if we see Andy make mistakes and what Zeb can do that will make him save time.
Bryn info. Oh, look at all those majors.
Wow,
majors.
That's a lot.
But no bosses. Yeah, I'm not sure if we've seen Meridia either. So I didn't get a chance to look. I should have screenshotted that map so I can analyze it more. The thing that sucks is there's a major in each sand pit, right?
Yes.
Are we going to get into left or right? Which one has the charge beam? You know?
Yeah. So the Meridia entrance was like kind of by the sand pits. It's kind of down below. And I think this is interesting. So you see Andy going for this X, right? This is where it's going to be interesting. Zeb immediately also resetting the ship. So look, they're both kind of doing the same thing. They're both of them playing, I think, very intelligently. How is Zeb going to approach this? Is Zeb also going to be picking up the X's? Or is he going to abandon almost all of them unless they're immediately nearby? And just go like, you know what, I'm going to find charge. Because all these majors are right here. Like, there's a good chance we're finding charge.
Yeah, okay, there's 5 majors on screen. Holy crap. That is a lot.
So you see Andy heading over to the right? But we also see that there's 3 X's by this major. So does Andy also commit the time to looking at those X's in conjunction with all the majors below? How is Zeb going to approach it? Maybe he makes the same choices.
Ooh, X-ray, okay. Potential for, depending on if we get all the beams.
Yeah,
Quick
two bosses.
We get over there.
2 Phantoon too, so two potential microwaves.
Yeah, grabbing these. Oh, another super pack, up to 20.
Interesting.
This is another super. We're in pretty good shape. It is 25 supers.
Now here's the question: how many majors are we going to hunt at this point? We're getting really close to having all the ammo we really need to beat the game.
Well, there is literally one right on the other side of this door. So I'd be surprised if Andy skips this one. It's literally right here.
That'd be pretty funny. We have seen Andy skip some majors that were important before.
It is plasma beam. Okay. So if we do find charge, yeah, Dragon is just toast instantly. Yeah, so we're gonna have to pick a sand pit to go down to here. Or is he gonna go get the major on the right first?
Yeah, that's hard to say. You kind of just have to make a decision and go. I think
right has an X, so I'm thinking he's just going to go right on the chance that I either get charge or a super pistol pack.
I like the left one.
I'm an idiot. Yeah,
the left one could have 2 majors technically.
It could.
They theoretically could. So, and it's also closer to the Norfair entrance. This is high jump, so that's nice.
And wave
it does
beam.
But it's not charged. It does have the 2 majors.
Crispy, like in this, we're just charged away.
Ooh, so here's the question: what if Zeb goes out the right pit and it's charged? This gets kind of spicy.
It does.
Oh, wait a second. What is Zeb is going for missiles? He's going for missile packs.
Yep.
It looks like he's... Okay, no. He wants to pick up this X down here. So I think Zeb was actually down a super on Andy. So this will be harder if it's ammo for Zeb than it is Andy in the first place.
I think Andy is committing to ammo at this point. It's so likely charge was one of those. But if he can find just one more super missile pack here in Meridia, then Ridley's probably here, let's be honest. I bet Phantoon is here too, since we've seen like every map except this one, and Wreck Ship.
And Wreck Ship, yeah. I actually would love to see Phantoon and Wreck Ship, because we saw how tiny that terrain map was. This will be the most comically small Wreck Ship if we find it. I'd love to see it, but wait, Phantoon is in Wreck Ship.
Yeah.
If what I saw from Andy's screen looked correct, that was a left map with 1 door, meaning Phantoon has to be in Wreck Ship, because if there's only 1 door on the right.
Answer maybe of how tiny Wreck Ship is, but
yeah, wait, that's gonna be that's gonna be great. I love it.
It's just 1 room.
Imagine it's just Phantoon's rented out the entirety of Wreck Ship right there.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is going to be a comical one. So, yeah, Andy's looking in prime position, maybe pushing this to game 3. We're going to have to see. Obviously, there's still more random to play, so we have no idea what can happen, but it's looking really good for Andy right now.
Yeah, I am very interested here. Zeb is coming close on the sandpit decision. But yeah, even just not even going for or getting a save. Just regular missiles. Okay.
There's Ridley.
Do we have Ridley? Okay, we do. And there's no, okay, there is an X at the end of the speed booster hallway. I think Andy's gonna go check that and then go try and do Ridley and supers.
Did we see Wreck Ship? Does Wreck Ship have to be in here, or was it in? Maybe we didn't see it in a previous connection, but
we're trying our best to get a peek at the maps as the runners pull them up. But all right, so look at this. Zeb is getting a save here.
Ooh, he's taking the save. So perhaps committing to both pits actually to find charge here. But Zeb has 40-20 at this point. I'm wondering if he also takes the left pit then and then just commits, says, I'm going to find the rest of my ammo when I need to.
Yeah.
Because he has enough to defeat Ridley at this point. It's not the fastest.
Oh, we're seeing right pit. Let's go.
Oh,
There's
power bombs.
It's grapple.
Oh no, it's grapple.
Unfortunate.
But here's the thing. There is one more major here. So I think Andy wanted to clear out all the majors, so he's going to check the major that Andy skipped earlier on the right. And then if that blanks out, I think he might reset and check the left pit. I think that's the play here, and then go to North Fair.
And there's not many places, not many unknown majors left. So we got what? We got Charge Beam, we've got Morph Ball Bombs, and what's our last one that we're missing?
Have we seen Spazer? Oh no, we have seen Spazer, so that might be it, actually.
What was that? Oh, that was Spazer right there. Okay, so there was nothing right sand.
Oh, they don't have Speed Booster.
Oh yes.
But I don't think they actually need that. Well, I guess I haven't kept track of all the speed locked rooms, but that would be really, really funny if Phantoon was just like speed locked. That's all it was. It was just a speed locked room into Phantoon. That would be the funniest thing I've ever seen, basically.
All right. Andy, 25 supers, 40 regulars, 8 power bombs should be okay.
Yep. If he hits every shot, just get down to 10 missiles. 30 plus 25 is just enough. So let's see if he's a super professional. Oh, missed one. He's gonna have to get down to 9 now. Let's see how professional he is about this. Shot an extra one, so he had a general idea.
I love the automatic firing the regular shot. All right, don't miss one of these, Andy.
If you miss one, you got 6 more missiles to shoot, and then if you miss another, you got a bunch of power bombs you're gonna have to lay down. So don't want to do that. That's gonna be
taking this last one. There it is.
There we go. Okay. Yep, confident. He overshot 1 missile. That's all. So knows his numbers. But yeah, Zeb making the decision to grab those majors over there, and that's just putting him further and further behind. Not through any fault of his own. It was just his choice to be more aggressive about finding those majors. But yeah, unfortunately, they sort of blanked out, and does not have the speed booster still. So yeah, Andy just making all the right choices.
Yeah, that 5 supers that Zeb is missing here is actually huge.
Yes.
Because Ridley takes so much extra damage from the supers, right? Like 1 super is 6 regular missiles. It's a lot.
Yep.
So either Zeb is going to have to use a lot more power bombs, get through all 40 of the missiles here.
Yep.
I'm not sure how the ammo works with power bombs. I'm bad with the actual math for how much damage it takes, but
if you want an idea, it's actually quite bad. So basically, if Zeb had 60-20, that's perfect ammo, assuming you miss nothing. Each power bomb for a single hit is 200 damage. That's 2 missiles. If they double hit, which is a little difficult to do, that's 400 damage, right? But assuming no double hits, Zeb is going to have to lay down an additional 10 power bombs and just on top of not missing a single missile. So it sucks. It's slow. It's slow and it's not that great. If Zeb is really good, he double hits all of them, then he only has to leave 5 of them. But that's still slow, right? So Andy with the 5 extra supers just cruising through that fight, looking really good for him.
Yeah. So I'm curious if Andy's going to even bother to get this major up top. Conveniently, there is a refill room pretty close to Dragon, so you can just get all of his supers right there, versus having to farm it slowly like Big Pink here, for example. But I think he's just gonna forget about this major. I don't need it. Ridley's dead. That's the main problem. Now, with this many supers, you still got to kill Mother Brain.
Yeah.
But there is an X here.
There is.
Top. Is it gonna be The super. Will the seed still turn up Andy? He's not
He
gonna check it. Wait, was
just
that
didn't
saved
check it.
Earlier?
I'm a little surprised he didn't
he is
check
gonna
that.
check this and see if it's probably charge beam first.
I see.
And then if it's not, he'll go check it. All right, is it charged? It's speed booster. Okay.
Was there a major that we didn't see that wasn't picked up, or is it in rec ship?
I think there's one. There were 5 majors in Meridia, or not Meridia, Brinstar, that I know of. So one of them's wave, one of them's high jump boops, one of them's grapple beam. Then we had spazer beam.
I'm surprised Andy
I'm not
wants
sure if
that
we saw the
power
last
bomb.
one. We could have.
I see. Oh, Andy doesn't have bombs. Does Zeb have bombs as well? Not have bombs? Interesting. I didn't
Zeb
realize
does
that.
have morph ball bombs. Maybe that was the last one and I missed it.
I see.
But here we go, getting the refill for the ammo to take out Dragon, and then it's just where in the world is Fantoon, which is Wreck Ship. So we need to go. We'll find out where Wreck Ship is. So
Yeah,
Andy's probably
so-
hoping to pick up one more super missile pack on the way.
I want to say Wreck Ship is kind of got to be in here because this was kind of like you have to kind of go past Mother Brain once more. So maybe we overlooked and didn't see the Wreck Ship entrance, but perhaps someone has better eyes than I do. But I didn't really know where the Wreck Ship entrance was exactly. But this is back in the beginning of the game, sort of where they were originally.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. Is Andy going to get a short charge in here to take a bunch of damage off of Dragon in the first place? Tried to swag with the little spike suit, I think, but
Oh,
didn't
we have
quite
charge
get-
beam.
Charge beam.
Beam over and an extra super missile pack. This is actually pretty big
That is really big, Kiara.
because we have charge plasma. That's gonna make quick work of Brother Brain. Like literally, this could come down to like Zeb is not that far behind.
Yeah.
Who's gonna have a super quick Dragon kill with the X-ray and charge plasma, right?
He's in Wreck Ship. He's in Wreck Ship. Wait, does Zeb have Ridley down?
Zeb did not take out Ridley.
Oh, so Ridley was... So Wreck Ship is in Meridia.
Yep. Well,
So how
access
did
via
this-
Meridia, yes.
How did this routing work out? Is this... So the hub point, the key point is not getting too far from Mother Brain. So it's possible that coming into Wreck Ship, coming into Norfair right now is completely fine, but I guess I'll have to see exactly how this worked out and why Andy chose to come here first. Probably just to take care of the boss and figure out his charge solution, but he's gonna have to go in Brinstar, back to Brinstar, which is where Mother Brain was. I think it's because where Dragon was, it was a situation where you can kind of do Dragon whenever you want, and it was fine to just go. It was fine to just take care of Dragon right there, right now, especially because Dragon had that major. Unfortunately, that's the kind of a slight loss for Andy if that's the case. But either way, let's see if this charge makes a difference because Zeb's gonna be able to microwave Dragon, and Andy did not. Have to do a little bit of a slower fight.
Yeah, but there is a possibility Andy just picks up charge on the way to Wreck Ship since it's really
Yes.
close to the zone.
Yes, almost certainly will actually.
This is getting exciting, Eddie.
Yeah, it is. This is still looking really, really good for Andy. So, yeah, if Andy was able to somehow not get charged, then I think it looks very interesting. But depending on the last location of the super for Andy, but yeah, it's kind of looking like Andy's gonna probably spike all this properly. But we'll see.
Yep. Yeah, that top left entrance to Meridia is the one that leads to the gauntlet. So,
Oh, Kiara, guess what?
what's up?
Andy probably goes down the right sand pit and is going to lose a little time back.
Oh, he's going up to check these.
What is up here exactly? Is it ammo? What's going on? What's going on here? Because the majors are down below on the right.
I don't know. Is there
Uh-oh.
an X up here I missed?
Where is Andy going?
Back up
Into
to criteria.
criteria.
There's
Uh-oh.
nothing up here. Do you not see where wrecked he doesn't know where wrecked ship is. He's got to get that information. So you just scroll up.
He never
There
scrolled
it is.
down there. He never scrolled
Yep,
down there.
there it
Okay,
is.
this wasn't too bad of a backtrack. So defeating Dragon there. Oh, he's a little nervous. This was not
I see
bad.
the hand on forehead, and he's not happy with that.
No, he's not. He's not. But it's okay. It's okay. Defeating North. It was a little slow to go into Norfair there first, but it was mostly just completely fine. And he didn't. If Andy started walking towards Turian and just completely forgot he did that, that would have been very bad. But he's still fine. But I'm sure he feels not great after something like that.
Yeah. Imagine you checked right sandpit here.
He's going to, yeah. So he's going to be losing the time back to Zeb. But
Yeah, but he doesn't have to get the item. Yeah.
Yep.
He's still gonna grab it.
He doesn't have to grab it. He already defeated Dragon, so
Yeah, I was like, what? If this
Kind of
comes down to like a seconds between the racers, you can blame that.
exactly.
Grapple pickup.
Yep.
I was gonna go to the right and pick up that major while he's here. Nope. He's going. I'm on the edge of my seat. I still think Zeb can pull this back.
So Zeb is in a bit of a pickle. I believe there's a chance he got locked by Speed Booster.
Oh.
That's not good. that could definitely spell the end of Zeb's run here for game 2, but we'll see here because Andy's got everything he needs.
Yeah, and I think he's still just gonna run into charge beam here. It's the fastest way to get down there to the wrecked ship zone.
So looking really good for Andy. I can promise you all that this is not scripted. We're not trying to make Andy win here, okay? So, but it's looking really good. It's
So
looking
Andy
really
needs
good.
to win this so he can throw in game 3. Right.
That's true. That actually is the script. So
That's what I have in my notes. Game 1, manufacture hardware shortages to build drama. Game 2, give Andy the easy dub to give the crowd hope, and then game 3, Zeb blowout.
Yep. Well, I was trying to make it so it wasn't that obvious, but I mean, I guess it's your show, Kiara. You can do what you want.
Hey, look, I gotta make these entertaining, right? So we just script everything.
That's true.
Everything
That's
is
true.
scripted. Nothing is real.
Yeah.
Welcome to Game Masters. Yeah.
Yep. I personally think that's something that we should have saved for DMs, but
Yeah, this is a joke. This is sarcasm. All right. I do find it funny that, both the final super pack and charge beam were in the same spot for Andy. And it's just like, well, I'll take the charge. Heck you, super.
yep. That always makes you feel kind of bad. It's like, well, what was the point of me collecting all this stuff?
Yeah. I do find it somewhat amusing that our players had the exact same ammo counts.
Yes.
Almost
yes.
down to like the ammo remaining, just like 2 extra power bombs for Andy.
Yeah, and that just came down to the fact that like Zeb just didn't have, an extra power bomb to check something, and which was just another power bomb pack. But yeah, I mean, given the early game lead that Andy came, this is one of those seeds that it wasn't like perfectly straightforward, but it was straightforward enough where they're mostly doing the same things, and that early game lead is kind of what's determining like how this all ends up, how this is all ending up. Microwave squid. I think we got that earlier with Zeb. We're going to get it again. Not quite. Yeah, only microwaved it for Andy. Not too happy about that one.
It's still frozen in the middle, Andy.
Yeah, I think we need a replay on his reaction right there.
This is what the GDQ replay function was built for.
He wasn't happy. Oh man. It's interesting because we know that obviously Andy's in an incredibly good spot right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But given
does Andy know he's in an
mistake,
incredibly good spot?
That's the thing with rando races, right? You just always feel like you're losing. And Andy, given those few mistakes, can't be feeling too good about himself right now. I mean, do you ever feel good when you basically hundo the map rando? I don't think you generally ever feel good about that.
In fact, even if I play perfectly and I know I'm executing perfectly and I god routed the seed, I will always feel like I'm behind.
So I have a question. Did Zeb have to reset his charge, or did he forget that he got charged?
I think this is probably a tracker thing. Let's see.
Because he could have microwaved.
I did not see if he had, he didn't do Ridley though, right? I didn't see him clear it. I could have been just not paying enough attention.
Yeah, I don't recall seeing him take like a gigantic reset.
He reset charge, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, that's probably it there. I think we're going to game 3, everybody, so sit tight. We're going to burn the midnight oil here. That's the 3.
Mm-hmm. That's rough. So Zeb, okay, here's the funny thing, right? here's what Andy's thinking. Oh man, I just threw the game. I need to go as fast as I possibly can. And Zeb's just thinking, yeah, I'm done. I'm just playing, but it's over for me. With the utmost confidence of, yes, I just lost. It's kind of funny how this always works. You can see it from when you're in the booth, and you can see the racers from their trying to like empathize with what they're thinking, but one is thinking they lost.
Delete all the information that we know, right?
Exactly.
We obviously know everything. Well, except the stuff we don't pay attention to, which that's a whole other conversation to have.
Yep.
Okay. The fake excitement that we get to have in the commentator booth because we missed an item, then we get excited all over again when it shows up. It's a great feeling.
I've got to say though, honestly, with just aside from like the small sort of misstep, he definitely overlooked something when he was on the way to. He overlooked where Wreck Ship was, right? But I think in the grand scheme of things, that was mostly fine. And so, accounting for that and everything else, Andy played the seed incredibly well.
I mean, doing Dragon first led to the speed booster, right? So.
Oh, that is true. So he had the God route.
Yep.
Yeah, he actually, okay.
I'm pretty sure that was what was hiding up there, right? With speed booster.
I think that's what it was. Yeah, so. Wow. Andy's got to be feeling pretty good then if that's the case.
As chat brings up, we get to still see, some just excellent Super Metroid gameplay here on both sides here. Even if, it's Andy's race to lose, but a lot of this movement is, it's really nice to see. I wish I could move this fast.
Yeah, years of experience for both of these players. Andy and Zeb have both been playing for a very, very long time. Andy, obviously known for Link to the Past, primarily. He's the Link to the Past main, but not everyone knows that Andy has speedrun Super Metroid in the past, so not new to the game at all.
I mean, yeah, when you're as old as Andy is, you've been around the block a couple times.
Wait a second, I'm as old as Andy.
Well, just forget anything I just said. All right, here we are, Mother Brain. And then Andy is most assuredly thinking, where is the dot done from Zeb? At least that's how I would be. Maybe going for that speed booster and then not having to worry about Ridley. Or not worry about the wrecked ship and that whole journey. Maybe he's feeling pretty good.
Yep.
We'll ask this question. The classic randomizer question. So, when you were winning, did you feel behind? I'm trying to think of what are the most stereotypical post-game interviews for a rando? And it's like, I think, did you feel behind or ahead is like the most common one. All right, here comes the rainbow beam. All right, chat, let's get your predictions in chat. What is going to be the time remaining down to the 100th of a second when Andy hits the escape here? What's it going to be? I'm going to think he's going to mess up somewhere, and it's going to be like a 6:18. 45-second timer. Oh my goodness.
I'm going to say he's got 4 seconds left.
I'm thinking 6.
He's cooking. That's some good movement. Look at him go. Not even looking at the map. I know exactly where that ship is. Ooh, look at that. Spicy.
Nice kill of Fantoon again for Zeb.
Ooh, getting that run speed off the spikes right there. Andy doing everything clean. Nice hero shot. I said 4 seconds.
Always gonna
Andy
crush it.
laughs. Andy laughs at me. Not
10
even
seconds
close.
off. 17 seconds left. GG.
GG.
That was a pretty solid escape there. Andy finishing with 46 minutes flat.
Wow.
Right there. Well, everybody, that was an awesome race. I look forward to talking to them about it. But of course, as always, we're going to go into a quick break here. When we come back, we'll have a brief chat with our runners before heading into the deciding Game 3. I'm happy to see it go to Game 3 tonight, Eddie. Welcome back to GDQ Hotfix. I am your host for the evening, Kiara_TV, and you're watching a Game Masters, where we're showcasing a best of 3 map rando multi-category tournament race between Andy and Zeb. Andy just tied up the series 1-1, and we're going into the final decider match here. Now, I want to remind everybody that your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support the GDQ Hotfix. So if you enjoy watching speedruns, consider subscribing to the channel to get access to our emotes, have ad-free viewing, and chats with other subscribers during our replays. So we're gonna have a quick chat with both of our runners, Andy and Zeb. So Zeb, so much confidence coming in here that we were gonna see the 2-0 of Andy, and I just gotta ask, what happened there, Zeb? What went wrong for you?
So basically, it was me missing the major next to Dragon, which I think is just about. I think it's just about as unlucky as Andy's console crashes in the first game. I think that it's on that level, so it just happens. It couldn't be helped.
All right, so Andy, now not handicapped by the console reset problems, taking the game off of Zeb. I know previously we chatted and your goal was to take one game off, but do you think in our final map, no objectives, really it could be anyone's game here, do you think you have what it takes to take the series and move on in the winner's bracket of the tournament?
I don't know. See, I have one game now, and that's all it takes. No objectives. You can do whatever you want, and if you get like an ice or a charge doing whatever you want, that's all it takes. Anything can happen with no objectives. Like Eddie 2+1ing Wasteland to get charge that one time. All it takes is you're like, man, let's see if I can pull this off, and you just do it, and it pays out with whatever majors. So we're feeling good. I did all I wanted was a game or like a close race, and we got that. So
very good. Both these races, outside of the unfortunate console crashes, have been very entertaining to watch. Kept us guessing through the ends of just where is everything, which I think is just what I want the most for anything. But looks like our seeds are
equally unfortunate major skip, right?
Yeah. We noticed early on that Dragon location was pretty crummy. And I was like, there's no access to anything. It's just out of the way. And what we were thinking, what if that major's charge? Who's going to go there? It turns out it needed to be collected for the speed booster. But we were wondering, at first opportunity, was one of you going to go back there? Anyway, I'm going to ask both of you to ready up. We're going to go ahead and send you into game number 3. Are both of you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Good luck, Zeb.
Yep,
all right, good luck to you.
Whatever happens here, whoever wins needs to absolutely put oats in the dumpster next round, okay? Can we agree on that?
Don't worry, I will.
I love the confidence from Zeb here. We're going to go ahead and deafen our runners here so they can't hear us yapping the entire time. And Eddie gatekeeping our race. Let's go ahead and get this race started in 15 seconds. Everyone, good luck. Have fun.
All right, let's do it.
Eddie, this is great. I couldn't have asked for a better set tonight.
Yep. Having a good time. I'm excited for this one. No objectives for game 3. We honestly, anything can happen here. No objectives is completely wild. Don't have to kill any of the bosses. So it's just a matter of, progressing with the seed, collecting the majors until you find Mother Brain, and then you panic. You panic and you go, how do I beat this game now? Because that's all I need to do.
Yeah, both runners excited they don't have to make a decision between left or right out the gate.
Yep, left was blocked by that green door. So Zeb just choosing to take the... Okay, so both of them kind of going through that door down there on the bottom left, and we're both in big pink right now.
Yeah, any reason
3
you
items
skip
here.
that middle door?
I didn't quite get a look, actually. So
yeah, both of them just skipped and went straight down the bottom. I wasn't sure if there was some knowledge there.
They didn't. I didn't get quite a good look, but the bottom door is kind of more likely to lead to some other stuff. The left door was going to sort of loop back into the other door, so that could be why, but... here we go. E-tank, 2 E-tanks.
Yeah,
two
it's nice
E-tanks
having
and
a couple E-tanks, and even an early save room. This is so sweet.
yeah,
Great start.
yeah, and a lot of doors, so that can lead to a lot of variance. We'll see what happens
All right.
here. So
I should have done a channel point prediction. Who finds more first? Is it going to be Andy or is it going to be Anna? But we do have all the channel points in for the series.
yeah.
So we had that at the start of the day today.
Okay, a little divergence here. Andy going straight up. Ooh, Brinstar, new area. And Zeb is going to continue checking doors. Checks that left door, ends up going back into big pink. He could have figured that out. Resets.
Oh,
There it
there's
is.
more. And some immediate power bombs. Let's go. And a missing time. So like
the
getting
classic.
our starter pack.
Exactly. It is like a starter
Yeah.
pack. It's pretty common that you find morph and then immediately just be able to get these items. It's annoying when you can't because then you have to go back. But I think both these players are going to go back to big pink because there was an item they left behind. Andy's going to check one more door before doing that.
And it's a charge beam.
Oh, that's big.
Yep.
It's no
I don't think Andy
objectives.
skips that. Wait.
Yeah, no, he's going to save and then make his way over there. But yeah, that's really big because in no objectives, this is all about how do I defeat Mother Brain, right? And so you need 2 things. You need, first of all, you need enough damage to defeat Mother Brain. You need enough so that's either going to be ammo or charge, essentially. Obviously, they want better beams because this is going to be a really slow fight otherwise. The other thing you need is enough E-tanks. They already have 2 E-tanks because the game gave them enough. So 6 without Varia and 3 with Varia. So they're already getting pretty close to being able to just beat the game.
Yeah, this could be a quick one.
Yep.
Not having to worry about any of the bosses. Though sometimes you will have to kill the bosses in order to. Oh, come on, Andy. There you go.
All right, both
Sometimes
players
the
essentially in the
bosses
same
just
spot.
Lock paths you need to take. So.
Andy has one more power bomb, and he's taking the hit from Shackle. Shackle hurts a lot, right? But Andy has one more power bomb than Zeb,
Is
and
that hit gonna matter?
that looks like it's gonna matter. Will he be able to make it across? Andy! Oh,
9
that HP!
HP.
And he has to reset it.
Gotta get out.
But you know what? Zeb is also gonna have to repeat. Oh, Zeb doesn't make it through the door, so he doesn't know the super.
I imagine that they're just gonna abandon that. Even with these tanks, you just cannot get back.
But Kiara, that's a big deal because what happens if they find the Varia and they're like, okay, where do I find the super? Andy gets a big advantage out of that, right? So if they get a few more E-tanks, then Andy's gonna know, hey, I gotta go back for this. Zeb has no clue because he didn't make it, just had 0 HP right before entering that door transition.
Yeah, I think Andy's also planning for that because he did not immediately go down to re-grab charge beam. So maybe putting that off because like you don't need to kill any of the bosses, right? Other than Mother Brain, you need to do that for a while.
Yeah. So Kiara, something interesting. First of all, Andy, forgetting that that's a green gate. Zeb found an interesting room. It's a Metroid room, which I believe is in logic now because of charge beam. Normally, you're not expected to have to dodge the Metroids in hard logic, However, it's a small little thing that not everyone knows about. But if you have charge, you can hold the charge and spin jump, and that's called a pseudo screw. What that lets you do is essentially bounce off the Metroids. They sort of like don't hit you, and that may put that room in logic. But Zeb did not have the missiles to get the door. Oh my gosh!
Mother brain.
Oh my goodness! They're freaking out. They're freaking out. Let's see Zeb's reaction.
A stone-faced killer, that one.
He is. He's got the best poker face. Oh my gosh.
I know.
Fun little fact about Zeb, he's actually a very, very, very strong Magic the Gathering player. So clearly just, has that poker face on. But that's... Okay, so free super pack right there. This is completely wild, actually.
Yeah, so get a couple more missile packs. We know where Charge Beam is. It could be an eternal Mother Brain, but I think right now, probably the big thing is we want to get health. Here's that Metroid room we're talking about.
Yeah,
he's done
so
this a time or two, should be able to get through. This is one of the easier ones to dodge all the Metroids in.
It is. So Zeb didn't have the ammo to get through here, and Zeb is down a super pack. Oh, Andy has to go back up. Oh, no, it's just going to reset. Can't make it to the top right of that room with his current loadout. So, Kiara, I've mentioned this before, but no objectives. If the path is linear in the beginning, you get the map, and, you see nothing else, it's fine. You don't get scared, right? Because you just like, oh, well, you know what? I have to just do the seed as is. But in no objectives, the moment you find Mother Brain, it's just, you're panicking. You're panicking because it's like, nothing else matters right now because I just need to be able to beat the game. And that means I need to find 6 tanks. I need to find the ammo. I need to keep every super I find because that is going to, add so much DPS to what I can do. But yeah, I'd be panicking if I was in their shoes and, so.
And you're losing a lot of time here as well with just a couple little mistakes after little mistakes. Having to reset so many times.
Yeah. Zeb almost failing that gate glitch too many times and would have had to dip into the supers. That would have not been in a good situation. He would have not been in a good situation if that was the case. And oh my goodness, Metal Pirates. I don't know if Andy will be able to get through it. He's going to need some lucky super drops. And he gets enough. Okay.
Yeah. I even got 2 more to spare.
Yeah. And can't do this room. Oh my goodness.
It's just dead ends everywhere. All right. At least you saved the supers this time.
Yep. Zeb. Oh, Zeb.
Ooh, grapple beam.
Grapple beam. That's a progression item. And I think Andy just found why you need the grapple beam to get across X-Ray Hall. So I think Andy's probably checking this now.
Is he going to go for it? Wait. Oh my goodness.
He's just going to do this. Okay, I have to point out that I just played a multi-world today with Andy, and he had to do this like 3 times, and he was really struggling with it. So I think he'll... Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. I guess he doesn't know that this is necessarily the way to progression. Oh, didn't quite get it. Okay, so I'm really hoping he sort of bails on this and checks the room just below so he gets the grapple that he needs.
Oh, he's going again.
No, he's going to keep going for it. He's going to keep going for it. Okay.
Andy's hubris.
He does have to come back too, potentially. So that's where it gets kind of nerve-wracking. But, oh, Zeb choosing a different location. So we were talking about the X-ray hall being an option, but
yeah,
no.
Into that room earlier. So we know it's a dead end.
So here's the thing. Zeb is choosing to go up into Meridia right now. However, and Zeb should know this is actually not in logic, because to even get to the point where you have to grapple onto these things, that's not expected in hard logic to do that really tight wall jump along the wall. Oh no, Andy is really struggling getting this D-boost here. So Zeb is currently out of logic. What that implies to me is that Zeb is potentially leaving behind either spring ball, high jump, or gravity suit.
Yeah, I think Andy's
that's problematic.
To this.
Oh, and Zeb is getting some bad news right now.
And he did save. I think he's calling it quits.
He's calling it quits, but he's not checking that door yet. I guess he's going to pick up this major.
So I imagine he's going to do this, then head up and check that door.
Okay, he's going to check the bottom left door here.
Well, we already know this just leads to that super missile, right?
Yeah. Is this where this leads? Where is he going right now?
Yeah, I thought it was just a super missile on the other end of this. Maybe I'm wrong.
Uh-oh. I'm a little surprised at this decision.
Unless
because as you
get
said,
this item and leave.
Well, it is also an X, and he can't.
He didn't check it before, so.
He needs a power bomb to get back, so he can't do this. It has to be a power bomb.
It is a power.
But then, why are you coming here for the power bomb? Is sort of the question in the first place, right? So.
He really wants this super.
But the problem is he's now soft locked upon getting this, unless he can get the power bomb and get out, which he cannot. So I am a little
confused. Booster there for Zeb, so,
uh-oh.
Not getting the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. Andy doesn't have any power bombs, so I think he forgot.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a chance. He basically has no chance of getting out of here. I would probably reset if I was him. I think the no objectives is scaring him a little bit. Yeah, there you go. He's resetting. I think there's a little bit of pressure coming on with what's going on, right? Because like I was saying, like you see the mother brain, you go, I just need to figure out how I can beat this game, right? And
he's still committing.
Oh, what is he pushing for here?
He really wants those supers.
The problem is, it's not enough for the supers.
Yeah, well, he still needs a whole bunch of E-tanks to even think of doing.
That's the problem. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
so
it's not just the E-tanks. I think he might be forgetting about the E-tank requirement as well. Because they do have charge, right? So I think Andy's thought process here is, I need one missile pack, one super, and I could beat the game. But he can't survive the rainbow beam. That's the issue.
Yeah.
He may be mixing this up with Metroid's objectives where there is no mother brain too, but that is not the case in this situation. Meanwhile, Zeb's just on a collection spree right now. Got speed booster, got that high jump. I think what that implies is Zeb either left spring ball or gravity down below. Because he's finding it behind essentially that lock from earlier. So
well,
Zeb has to
be. He did reroute. I'm not sure if you saw. So we are now currently past the. Oh, he made it out, just barely. Now don't die to shock tool. Or the snails. Snails can still get you.
Yeah. So, and he's gonna have to do two things here. He's gonna first have to use one power bomb, and then he's gonna have to do a clip to get through the charge, basically the charge room. So you essentially need to break two sets of blocks. One is a power bomb block, so there's nothing you can do about it. The other one you need bombs for, which he does not have, or screw attack or something like that. So because Andy doesn't have to do that, he's gonna have to flex and show that he knows how to do this clip to get through.
Do this. He'll be fine.
All right, let's see it. It's not trivial. He's having some issues.
Meanwhile, we got Spazer Beam, we got High Jump Boots, we got Speed Booster over here for Zeb.
Zeb
but
is...
importantly, no energy tanks, no Varia suit. So.
Exactly. So this is all about finding one E-tank plus Varia, or finding 4 more E-tanks. That is literally all that these players need right now. That is all they need. We're barely into the seed, but that is all they need to complete the game. Now, there is one more thing, one more little wrinkle.
They don't know where the ship is.
They don't know where the ship is. So if you have to do this and you don't even know where the criteria, which, okay, Andy just found the criteria entrance. He also jumped down here. Andy cannot get out of this. So the other issue is Andy also has not found. We're not going to find Speed Booster down here. We're almost certainly not going to be finding gravity because we went down a water room. So Andy's kind of doing this for information, if anything.
May just blitz the map and get out.
Yeah. I'm not sure how comfortable I feel about this play, but basically with no way to get back, this is kind of rough. So we'll see how this works out for Zeb. What his plan is next, because he's going to find this criteria entrance. And here's the spicy thing. Here's the spicy thing. Does Zeb know how to do an underwater wall jump well enough in G4? Because historically, Zeb has tried to do that and he can do it, but he has struggled immensely with it in the past. He has had seeds where he has lost a lot of time because he could not underwater wall jump back up. That is an extreme level of tech. We're on hard difficulty. There's very hard, there's expert, there's extreme. It is very difficult. I would say, prior to Map Rando becoming more popular, there's probably only a handful of people in the world that was capable of doing that sort of tech. It's very convoluted. It's very non-intuitive. So if Zeb can get an underwater wall jump, it'll be good. That's a reserve tank.
We got a reserve locked by plasma beam or screw attack or speed booster or something. So
yeah, charge as well. Zeb could get that with just charge, but with speed booster, that's going to be enough for Zeb. Zeb fighting one missile pack. Kara, one thing I can tell you is I wouldn't want to be in either of these players' shoes.
No. I'm happy being in the Wood League bracket, okay? I've gone 0-2. I lost my first best of 3 0-2. Lost my second best of 3 0-2. We'll see if I win one game in this tournament, I'm gonna be happy.
Oh no, Andy.
Oh, he's fine. He's a big sigh of relief. Panicking. That crab almost ended his aspirations here.
Kiara, the one thing I can say is I really, really, really wish that Andy just checked the one room in Big Pink in the middle door, which would give him his progression, because everything else is out of logic right now.
Yeah. It's just one door, Andy. Come on. Hey, not gonna mess around with my words here, but I'm just saying, Eddie, I would have had that grapple beam, even me. So,
I believe you too.
I would have gotten that grapple beam. I would be in the commanding lead here against the one and only Andy.
I mean, you know what I will say? The moment that we see Andy get that grapple, we're gonna definitely do an instant replay on his webcam.
I think he's going for it now.
He's going for it. All right, here we go. We gotta get that instant replay ready. Oh no. Here we go. He might not survive this.
Further and
Andy, no.
All right. While Andy tries and goes and gets that, Zeb is exploring further here in Brinstar. So now with high jump boots, I think this is in logic. So.
Yep. Okay, I've got to say, Kira, based on what I'm seeing Zeb doing, this whole area is just. Oh no, another death. This whole section is complete garbage. Zeb is just struggling to get through because look at all this heat. With 2 tanks, we could barely do anything.
Yeah, I do love how we got 2 tanks immediately within seconds.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Here it is.
He's in the zone right now.
He's actually kind of upset. I think he's a little upset.
Let's get an instant replay on the head shake from Andy abusing my power here.
He almost missed that super as well, and I think he realized he almost saw fuck by accident.
Yeah.
Made him a little nervous. This is, I'm not gonna lie, Kira, this is What an amazing
Great.
game 3.
Yeah.
To have something that looks like it's going to end in like 10 minutes. And it just turns out everything that they're doing is just like really difficult and like nothing is working out because the seed is just treating them
The
so
seed is just
poorly.
refusing to put out. I can't believe it. Where are the
It's so
E-tanks? Where is
bad.
anything?
Oh my gosh, Zeb just running at Zeb's face right there, just kind of saying everything like, oh my gosh, like really? Because that's a room he can't get out of. You can go to the left, but that's about it.
So Zeb did manage to save that reserve tank. I forget where he got it. So that is 3 tanks if you could find Varia. But
Yep.
Eddie, tell me where Varia can be.
Varia in these modes, the suits have a high chance of being kind of stacked sort of in the back. So there's a good chance that it's just locked in the middle of nowhere and nowhere to be found. Andy's gonna have to reset this because that was a soft lock once he went down that crab shaft. Zeb has obviously cleared significantly more ground. It's kind of looking like each progression step is almost like locked by an E-tank because there's just no health anywhere. This is wild, completely wild.
So Andy probably very thankful to have grapple.
Yeah. So
Like, unfortunate that is literally
literally.
right under this room.
I was saying that this grapple, I believe, was their progression.
And their high jump boots was over here, and Spazer beam. So Andy will be getting that.
Yes, exactly.
Which honestly,
gotta be a
even
little
just
careful here.
having charge beam, just getting any beam, like just give me anything, right?
Yep.
I'll take Spazer. Oh yeah, speed booster is over here as well.
So did Speed Booster unlock the high jump? Is that what happened here? It's kind of what it seems like.
I'm
The
trying to
grapple leads to
remember
the
where
grapple
everything
seems like it
was.
leads to speed. So then how does speed give you the high jump? I think they saw waterway at one point.
Yeah, waterway is through some dead end. That was found pretty early.
Got it. Okay, so this Spazer, it looks like it's just filler. That is going to help for Mother Brain if they don't find a ton of supers. So okay, and then yeah, the high jump would then put Everest in logic. So oof, Zeb trying to get up that little crab hole right there. Let's see if he finds something good. Another super pack.
That's nice.
Oh, he's committing to this. This could be in logic as long as they're provided there's a farm on the other side. Oh, looks like this would be considered a farm room. You can farm those crabs.
Yep. High HP drop percentage once you're maxed out on power bombs. Oh, we found Kingdom Hearts or the Mickey Mouse room, however you want to call it.
So, has Zeb already done all this in this Norfolk area? Because obviously this map is going to be a big deal. I've definitely been watching Andy a little bit here because Zeb has kind of been cruising. But this is kind of a big deal to get this information.
Zeb thinking about going through there. If you see that yellow caution tape, most likely I imagine that's just going to be. I mean, it could if it's the fish tank, that's one way, but it's not, so we're good.
Okay, so you might see what Zeb did right there. It's a very nuanced thing, but he morphed into the room and then unmorphed and held right. Now, the reason he did that is because in the instance that it was fish tank on the left side, what that happens is you just immediately fall and you may just be soft locked. And if that's the case, you're in trouble. But if you unmorph into the room, you'll end up kind of landing on the right ledge and then you can get out with a flat lead jump. It's a special little jump that you sink into the ground a little bit and you'll be able to make it back in. So Zeb was preparing for that instance. You can see that's seasoned rando player in him. So it looks like Zeb did do all this and he's going to find his high jump here in Aqueduct. And that'll lead him to where Zeb is. But Plasma, the only problem right now we have is we don't have health.
Yep. Now, with how deep Zeb is going, are we gonna find Varia first? Because if you find Varia, we're also good. We're set.
Yes.
Outside of just having, let's see, we need 4 more E-tanks in order to do it. Like, that's not that much of an ask. And there's the speed booster locked high jump boots.
Yep. So yeah.
So outside of Plasma, Andy is caught up on progression, but Zeb just, not having that early grapple and just being able to do all this stuff while Andy was messing around. We're not sure what he was doing there, but this has allowed Zeb to just get such a lead on the exploration.
He did, but Zeb is honestly like everything Zeb's had to do has been like complete shambles essentially. Like Zeb's in this situation where I don't know, if he uses one power bomb here, he could spark the rest and then use one more power bomb to get out. I don't know if there were more power bomb locks. It looks like he's going to commit to this. The other option is he could just sit here and farm for that like 4 or 8% chance of getting another power bomb.
I've had to do this before. It's not great.
Yeah. So honestly, Andy looks like he was obviously in an irreparable situation. However, given how bad the seed is, we don't know what's going to happen. We really don't know what's going to happen because Andy sort of is making his way back and Zeb's sitting here farming for a very unlikely power bomb. That's not what you want to be in a situation. We saw this situation before where Zeb had 5 power bombs and Andy was able to pick up a 10th power bomb. So obviously this is looking really good right now.
Look at this. Andy's going to go and take care of some Zebs.
Oh, I like that play.
Yeah.
I hope he didn't I hope this is just like he's essentially prepping for everything.
I'm
which
pretty
I
sure
would
he
love.
would have come in here way earlier if he thought he can go through and do it.
Yep.
Yeah, he's just gonna do these and leave.
He's gonna die. He is about to die.
No, he's gonna be fine.
Kiara, he has such a high chance of dying here. Ah!
No, I wasn't worried at all. Yeah.
That's a clip.
I
That's
think Andy
definitely a replay.
knows he got lucky there. Look at that face.
That's a replay for sure.
All right. Zeb, now, this is great. Now, we're this far, and Zeb is still looking at the Norfair map here for, where do I go? What am I going to do? But,
Kiara, I'm gonna be honest. I'm an E-tank for Zeb. That's huge.
We got an E-tank in Kingdom Hearts.
He's gotta be careful here. He might soft lock if he doesn't get this jump. Oh, okay.
Good.
That crumble jump was required to get out with that E-tank. That's essentially an E-tank he cheesed. It was not in logic. But doing everything he can to scrunch up the required E-tanks. Kiara, I am extremely afraid right now. I want to give Andy the credit, right? I legitimately think Andy might go back in there and think he can just beat the game. I don't know why I'm thinking that, but I kind of feel like he's thinking that.
Okay, Eddie, I know you like to trash talk a lot, but if Andy ever goes and watches this back, he'll know. It's like, Eddie, what are you talking about? No.
But I'm a little confused because why do this now? And why is he... Why do you need to farm till full? Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
see, he's not going in.
Okay.
He knows hot rooms are in his future.
Yeah, I guess so. It's just, it seems a little aggressive because the other situation is what happens when you find ice, right? Like if you just find ice, then all of that like Zeb killing was kind of not really worth it, if that makes sense. Yeah. But I think he's trying to kill Batoon here to grab this tank as well. That is knee.
Oh.
He just boomeranged back up. That was pretty funny. Okay, so Batoon actually does an incredible amount of damage. He might die if he's not careful. Batoon can double hit and triple hit you if you're not careful.
Look at all these missile throws. Also, love that entry through that ice escape there from Zeb.
Yep. Oh, and Zeb coming back with the plasma to get a second reserve.
That's 5 tanks. This is looking really, really good for Zeb here. 2 more, and Zeb can beat the game.
So, did Zeb get the E-tank behind Batoon?
No.
No, Zeb. Oh, he's got to be really careful here. That's a lot of heat damage. Okay.
It's fine.
Yeah, he was sitting in the lava for quite a long time. I was getting a little nervous.
All right.
All right, so Andy's gonna make his way over to the right, and if that Batoon E-Tank was left behind for Zeb, then this is going to be go mode.
Well, would still need 2 more tanks, right?
For Zeb?
Yeah, Zeb's sitting at 5. He needs 7, right?
No, he only needs 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is it. This is it.
Professional commentator Kiara.
Yeah, so Zeb is officially in go mode. Is going to grab this tank. It is an E-Tank, so he'll get a full health refill. Is going to probably save, and then he's going to be shooting out a bunch of Zebs. And right after that, he is going to be able to finish this game off. Now, I don't know if he found the ship or the criteria map, so there's going to be some work here, and also has this X-ray, so is going to be able to zap this Batoon. I don't think he'll be able to 1 round, but nope, got the 1 round. Nice.
Making up for the crate earlier when he ran out of ammo.
Yep.
Yeah, let's get a replay on that nice X-ray on the Batoon. Love to see it. Yep, and now here we go.
All right, is going to have to reset the room once. He's going to try for a Zeb skip here. If he can get the short charge, then he's going to go for the short charge.
Love it.
This is tight, and it's through a door transition. So if he can pull this off, that'd be crazy. Okay, he's trying his best, but it's quite difficult. He's gonna go for it though. So the question here is, how many attempts does he go before he says, you know what, I just have to shoot the Zebs out. This isn't
He's gonna get
me.
it right here. Okay. Eddie, we need to pop off when this happens, okay?
Kiara, honestly, I don't know how comfortable I am with this, because when you do this, you will likely take a little bit of damage. Zeb cannot take more than 99 damage. You can't take more than 98 damage, right? And he has to do the entire fight. Okay, so he's not going to do it. There we go. Now, obviously, we obviously know he's in a really great spot. Zeb is probably thinking, like, I need to save every second I can get, because, I do truly believe that Andy is, maybe in a reasonable spot compared to me. So that's where things get a little bit scary. But obviously you wanted to be able to do that Zeb skip, because refarming all this stuff is going to take quite a bit. Mostly you just need 15 missiles and 1 more super, and that's enough. Yeah.
Eddie running face first into a crab there.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Andy has 2 heat rooms on each side.
Yeah.
And I think he was trying really hard to, do a little expert tech to do a little wiggle to get up there. So, yeah, right now it looks like he's going to have to refill his health right here. But, yep.
Love seeing the double farm action all over the screen.
Yep. Now, here's the question, Kiara. Nice wiggle. Nice. Got it. Is Zeb going to save before this? If not, he's going to have to re-kill Batoon and do this all over again.
I mean, it looks like no is the answer.
I don't think he saves, because I think he respects Andy enough to think, like, I need to save every second I can.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're begging for him to save. Oh my gosh, Zeb can't take that hit. That's 40 damage down the drain. If Zeb takes anything here, he's essentially gonna have to reset.
Well, we're locked in. Any French fry, any onion ring, any potato, any ketchup, it's over.
This is like 30-ish shots.
Yep.
And the 6 supers. So it is not the quickest fight.
Well, there's no wave, so isn't this like closer to 40 shots?
So he's got the 6 supers to supplement, so 30 shots is probably enough. But he takes anything, he's gonna have to reset essentially, so hold your breath for Zeb.
Come on, Zeb, you can do this.
Oh, Andy missed that last jump, so I think that's a reset for Andy.
Oh, yeah. Wait. Oh, you missed the door.
Oh no! And he hit his key combination.
All right, we're in the catch-up. So just a couple more missiles in. I think Zeb is good.
He does it. Well
Now
played
the
from
question is,
Zeb.
where's the ship? I'm not sure if he got the criteria map or if he safe scummed out of there, but we're out.
Yep.
Good mother brain.
What a wild game 3, Kiara. See all this happen.
Yeah.
This scene looks
I
so
couldn't have asked
good.
for a better seed for this.
It looks so good, and then it's just and then it's such a disaster. Ooh, that's a long escape.
145. Oh, immediately knew that he went the wrong way. Oh, that was another nice, whatever you call that trick. Educate me, Eddie. Give me the knowledge. Carrying the momentum through there, morphing up the crab tunnel. You know.
Yeah, the little morph thing. I don't think it has like an official name, but did you do the morph or did you do the little wiggle?
Like the little wiggle and then you morph at the top.
Yeah, we pretty much just call that just the wiggle.
The wiggle. All right, good. Love it.
Yep.
All right, so we should know if Zeb knows where the ship is upon getting to Criterion. I'm not sure if he made it all the way down to the map, because the map was pretty far in. I know he dipped. He dipped into Criterion.
Yes.
I did not see how far.
My approach for these situations where you don't have the map is, as long as you find the entrance, I'm willing to just sort of gamble on just finding my way to the ship. Usually it works out, and if it doesn't, I think you can usually get it within 2 tries.
Yeah, we don't. So we got a minute here to find information.
Yep. What it's looking like to me is I think Zeb is going to go for the map, and I think the map is going to be very close to the ship room. So I think this will work out fine.
The baby.
No longer here.
No baby.
Baby's escaped. Here we go. To the right.
What if he just God modes it, you know? How would you feel? I feel, you know, obviously it's not the top door that's going to lead to it, but bottom door here.
Yeah, this is the middle bottom door. He's going to turn around. The nice thing is if you turn around.
bottom door is going to give us a hallway, and it's going to take us there. Because there's a lot of empty space here at the bottom.
Yes. Oh,
that sucks.
It is the top door. That's kind of unlucky.
Yeah, it really is. Is this our hallway? Yes.
I think there's a good chance this might lead to the ship. I didn't see if there's space above, but...
Not here, there's enough space, but I think...
Look at that momentum. Right. Wow. Kept that speed through the door.
Yep.
And here we go. That's the ship.
There we go. First try, blind checking the ship. Did not need that map, and that's it. 20 seconds remaining even without knowing where the ship is. That's kind of nuts.
GG.
Yeah, GG's. GG's. That was a disgusting escape.
That was.
I'm kind of mad that you didn't know where the ship was and you still had 20 seconds left. Like, what?
I don't know how the heck I won that. That was the worst I've played
All right, well, the good news is...
very long time.
I think everybody watching here at home, as well as our other racer, Andy, very quickly understood that this seed was trash, for lack of a better term that I can say.
Off the rails.
My God. We were so excited. It's like, wow, we got Mother Brain right there in big pink. We got 2 E-tanks to start, giving us missiles left and right. And then where the heck
Charge beam.
is anything else? Oh yeah, charge beam super early. Just everything was there.
Yep.
All right, so Zeb, let's start with you. First of all, congratulations on winning best of 3, though in your mind you had no doubts at all.
Yeah,
so
even my complete confidence couldn't. I thought I was losing that one for sure. That was crazy.
Yeah, a big thing that happened on this one was, Andy, you spent some time trying to do the deboost strat.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about the overlookies that I did, okay?
But I want to talk about them.
Yeah, we may have gotten some 2 instant replay.
Oh my God, I just forgot that Mission Impossible door existed. And so like I was trying the D boost with 2 tanks, and like I did it perfectly fine literally today earlier, and I just like I don't know if it was like I don't know, I just couldn't get run speed after the Firefly D boost to get enough speed to catch the Wyvern. So I was like, well, all right, I'm gonna bail. And I was like just wandering around, just wandering into heated rooms and water rooms that I couldn't do. Found criteria in the process, and I was like, oh, all right, that's cool. Ended up making it like in and out of bottom left of charge with 2 tanks, which was cool. And then found grapple, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so stupid.
That was great. So, Zeb, you mentioned, I mean, you said you felt like you were losing this race. Like, I'm going to ask the generic question, the generic rando question. Like, why was that? What did you do specifically that was like, oh, no, I messed up. This is bad.
So we got the Morph Ball, and I didn't go for the Green Hill Zone pipe. I just was wandering around aimlessly instead for like at least a couple minutes before remembering it. And then I was like, oh crap, I need to go get that. And I got that grapple beam. And instead of going for X-ray, I was all like, what does this put in logic? I forgot about X-ray. There must be something that I'm missing that then puts Everest in logic.
Yes.
So I went to Everest first.
I went straight to Everest. I was like, wait, what am I doing?
and then after that, I got that high jump. And I like went into criteria trying to find the ship before resetting or the map. It's like
oh gosh, there were hot rooms everywhere. It wasn't giving you energy.
I went and got that major on your screen, past Gauntlet. It was plasma, and I had to farm 2 power bombs from the bug to get back.
And
it took like minutes to.
I was trying to underwater GGG to go get the top left major, and then also get the tanks in watering hole, or the tank singular maybe. And then I was gonna head back and go get Plasma Pirates reserve.
Yep.
I wasn't gonna go down and check Gauntlet probably.
Yeah.
But I only had 5 supers going in, so I was like, well, hope this works.
Speaking of supers, I did want to ask this, Andy. So early on, you spent some effort getting that second super missile pack down through the bottom of Big Pink, through the heated room. Why did he want those missiles so badly?
That's a good question. I don't know. I should have saved it for later.
All right. Well, we got our answer.
Yeah,
I was expecting. That's a good question, and just it does not elaborate any further at all. That's all we want. It's like, I'm an expert interviewer here. So, I don't want to keep y'all here too late. Zeb, I want to ask one more thing here before we go. I'm not sure if Oates is still in chat, but your next opponent is going to be the one and only Oates and Goats. How are you feeling about that matchup?
Should be another easy W, I think.
Nice.
I'm pretty confident about that one, too. I'm not sure there's another runner in this tournament that can beat me, honestly.
Hey, wait a second.
Well, Zeb, what's good? Congratulations on winning the best of 3 here and moving on. I love the confidence, and can't wait for your match versus Oates, which should be next week. So everybody, make sure you go follow Zeb316 here. If you want to see some more map rando action. Still a lot more tournament to go for this. We say we're about maybe halfway through this or so ish in terms of the number of weeks. Still plenty of map rando to go. Now Andy, unfortunately, heading down to the silver brackets here, but you can still claw your way back up. This is a double elimination tournament. Maybe looking forward to a rematch against Zeb in the finals.
Again, that's
win your way
happen.
back up. Yeah.
I don't know.
Eddie, I'll throw it over
I
to you.
definitely shambled this seed, but I feel like I played pretty well for the most part today, so I can't really be too unhappy.
Yeah, your movement's been just pretty good throughout all the rooms. Like you've got everything. So I think you could do pretty well in the lower bracket here, potentially making a comeback. So, but yeah, Eddie, any final thoughts here or questions for our two runners before we close for the night and get some sleep?
Yeah, I don't think I have any questions for the runners. It looks like they kind of got everything out they wanted to say. I think some people were asking maybe for the schedule for the tournament, but not sure if we can have that posted here or whatnot. But yeah, obviously the tournament is still going. This was only round 3. Zeb is now moving on to round 4, and Andy is still in the gold bracket, in the lower bracket. So obviously starting off ahead in the lower round 3. Going to be waiting for more people, and he's almost certainly going to make a run, a big run in the losers bracket to catch back up. Maybe find a rematch.
Map rando tournament before.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, lots of more amazing map random matches to be played. Hopefully Zeb, I can meet you in the next round. That would be awesome. After you beat Oates, right? Almost certainly.
I'm not sure that you'll beat. Who are you playing? Is it?
You don't even know who I'm playing.
Yeah, I don't know who you're playing, but they're probably going to beat you anyway.
Oh, yeah, okay. And then, okay, you know what? I'll meet you in the next round, and we'll see who has the better trash talk. We'll see that, Zeb. I'll bring you down to where Andy is right now. So, the tournament is obviously still ongoing, so I hope that you guys would all follow. Obviously, Kiara, thank you so much for hosting this on your show. Usually SG does all this stuff, but hopefully everyone was entertained. I think it's good to see what competitive Map Rando looks like, and hope all of you will give Map Rando a shot, and don't have to play competitively, even casually. It's a lot of fun. So please get into it.
I'm not sure this last game was a good representation of competitive Map Rando.
Oh, it was good. I did say this was panic mode.
Time, okay.
This was a panic mode seed, and that is exactly what we got.
Yep.
Yep.
Anyway, if you're curious about more matches in the Map Rando tournament, Richard here has posted the schedule in chat, so you can go ahead and click on that. But yeah, make sure you go follow Zeb316. Make sure you go follow Andy if you're not already doing so, as well as my lovely co-commentator Eddie. Thanks for joining me here. Hopefully, I didn't annoy you too much with my comms.
No, it was great.
But yeah, and of course, thank you everybody for watching. Now, if you'd like to see some Wood League action in the bronze bracket, that's where I am. I'm gonna do my matches late on Thursday versus D Rocky Lizard here. So I'm not sure if that's gonna get a restream or not, but that's gonna be on our channels if you're interested at all. So yeah, that's
I have one last trash talk.
Oh,
one more. Zeb 2-0'd Eddie last tournament, and I 2-1 against Zeb this tournament. That means I'm better than Eddie. Confirmed.
Hey,
why am I taking the brunt of all of this?
Perfect logic. Perfect logic. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to go ahead and close up for tonight. But if you missed out on RNG or came to Game Masters late tonight, stay tuned as we replay both shows after the break. Then tune on